WIIFTBPM.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m. where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said. We out of here. Peace.
You see me, you see him, my best friend. He hold me down like ankles fighting the waves. So bow not to my crime, yeah, I do time. Till I'm with you, I'll be counting the days. Yeah, ooh, been through so many things, but we always get through. Yeah, ooh, it ain't always perfect, but it's worth it. This is deeper than the surface. If I said I didn't love you, you and I know I've been frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide and make them something, something. Like it was nothing. Ooh, some magic, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy. Say, take it easy. Say, feel so weak. Say, easy to love. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so weak. Say, easy to love. I never thought that I would give it to you, but now I don't think it's the time. I won't do it. I think it's cause the way you talk to me. Know how to say it without making me feel little. You gracious even when you pop off on me. When you get done, I got a little something to drop off on you. Because you earned it with the time you took to put it away. You got me liking to get put in my place. I didn't love you, you and I know I've been frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide and make them something, something. Like it was nothing. Ooh, some magic, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so easy. Say, easy to love. Easy to love. You make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so weak. Say, easy to love. You make it easy. You make it easy. You make it easy.
WIIFTBPM.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said. Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happening in town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. I'm in the building on a Thursday, ready to do my thug thistle. I'm feeling the kind of way today, Ruthie. Ruthie, I gotta tell you, I'm feeling the kind of way. You know, he tried to hit your old Russian Shrek tried to hit me yesterday.
Russian Shrek?
Russian Shrek, my beautiful and lovely wife's opponent. The Russian operative. Ruthie, what would you do if I told you that the dude who was trying to splash me paid for the chemicals to bomb the Ukrainians?
What?
See?
Now that's getting deep and deeper.
See? Just leave me alone.
It's getting deep and deeper.
Ruthie, you know, yesterday people was like, Maze, you know how the game go. I was like, I know. But if we gonna game, if you gonna tell the truth, tell the whole truth.
You know, people have selective memories.
Oh, no, but if you don't remember when you was in Russia, I think he fell in love with Das Vidanya.
Who is Das Vidanya?
Don't you know every time you see Russia, they be like, Das Vidanya.
Ah, okay.
So I think he like Das Vidanya. But you know, see, you should I really can't believe. That's all right. We're going to discuss. Ruthie, I'm sure people are going to wonder why. They're going to be like, what in the hell? Why you got that picture of Shrek up there? Don't he kind of look like the opponent?
You kind of ruining Shrek. I really like the Shrek movies.
I've never seen a Shrek movie.
You are missing out. They're for grown-ups.
No, I've never seen a Shrek movie.
You missing out. That's
what
you missing out.
I'm going to see old Russian Shrek.
I ain't trying to see that Shrek.
Don't he look like? I'm just saying. Here.
Was Shrek Russian though? He did have a little accent, but was he Russian?
Dun 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 dun. Das Vidanya. Oh, Russian Shrek and
Oh, Mike Myers
and the lady with the That's Austin Powers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna break down. Russian Shrek will be performing. I need a Russian. I need someone who can speak Russian. Remember how we used to have a green team? Now we need to figure out where the Russian infiltrators are. Cause I'm telling you, man, it's going down. I'm like, Ruthie, why you know when you be like, why? You know I'm gonna tell you what. I could feel people be like, why you even get them started? Why you know how you be like, You know what? You shouldn't even did that. You should have just left him alone. You should have let him mind his own business. I ain't posting nothing. I be quiet. I don't be talking. Then you want to try and put me. And then this punk keeps saying my name, though.
Oh.
And be sending out emails. Now, see, he going to be mad when I start sharing these YouTube videos of him telling people to let the Russians destroy our steel industry. They better probably go. They probably right now. They probably taking down all they Russian videos. Too late. Got them.
That sounds like some national security stuff.
I do. I almost feel like dude is like an operative trying to take our government down. Like he could not be. No, think about this. If you could get a Russian operative and get him elected, and then have him destroy the whole entire tax system of the bluest system in the state and just crush and ruin your schools, ruin your police, ruin your public safety.
That's deep, Maze.
Russian Shrek.
That's deep.
Russian Shrek. Walking around here right with us. Right amongst us. I mean, Ruthie, the book said his daddy wore a thing that wore Russian. He wore one of them every day. Like Russian Shrek.
Yeah, one of them Russian winter hats.
Ruthie, I'm telling you.
You might not be far off, Maze. I'm seeing some connections, especially if you think about them Trump tax breaks.
Man, he gave Trump
and
tax.
Russian. You know, they was all together. It was a whole little thing.
Hey, I'm just telling y'all. Hey, look, Kenwood, y'all gonna be mad though. I'm just telling you, no disrespect. Y'all gonna been. What if you like? What's that movie where they be in the whole like they be just straight Americans and but they be trying to take us down? Be right? It's like they got it's a TV show. It come on like USA or something. Ain't that crazy? It would come on USA. All right, y'all. Anyway, stay tuned. We're going to be talking about Russian Shrek a little bit later on in his little shenanigans. But in the meantime, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host. Tanil, it's a whole Shrek channel. It's a whole Russian Shrek channel on YouTube. Wait till you see the video that came from. I'm about to be, y'all about to be mad at me. Because they be dancing. They be dun 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 dun. And they are all like, what the hell is he talking about? I'm talking about, look, Ruthie, tell the truth, shame the devil.
Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Hold on, let me see if I can do this like this. Let me see if I can pull it. Ruthie, tell me he don't look like Shrek. Hold on, it's coming up. He don't look like Shrek. I'm just telling you.
Maybe the belly.
Don't look at that head.
I gotta say I'm one of them hats on. You gotta Photoshop.
I gotta take your hat. That's the Russian version of Shrek. I'm telling you, it's a whole movie. We gonna watch it. All right, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my girl Ruthie Moore. Since dude won't be putting out stuff, I'm gonna start sharing my stuff. All right, Maze Jackson Show. Ruthie, did you see the City Pass gas yesterday? Not that gas.
I watched the city council meeting.
I missed it. I was as you obviously you know because you scheduled me across the universe yesterday.
I didn't know you went to watch the meeting.
I do. You know, city council days. You should.
I'll put them on your calendar. I'll put them on your calendar.
Yep, and then you should put the link so I could just click it. And then I could be, and even if I'm going somewhere, I could just put it on.
You just listen.
So did you like the?
I don't know if this is like a thing, but sometimes I don't be want to hear all the pomp and circumstance.
Oh no, that's they've been in the house too. Oh,
I know, but sometimes I don't be wanting to hear it. So I ain't gonna lie, like I watch the city council meetings on the delay so I could skip through stuff where I'm just like, okay, you talking too long. I get it. Cool. Claps to this person. Oh, you want to talk to?
Ruthie,
now y'all friendly bantering. Can we just get on with this?
Ruthie, so you're saying you don't like politics?
Is that
That's politics?
Good.
You know,
well, you know what? I guess I gotta get used to it.
That you better.
I'm just trying to come for the
they
business.
Be like, and I want to say, and this is how I feel, and thank you.
And I want to piggyback. No,
and I want to join my colleagues in thanking and welcoming, and
It's the
I want
master piggyback. Like, can't everybody just touch and agree? Like,
I want to
everybody
thank Deborah. Welcome to the team. You are the best thing that happened since sliced bread.
How long do they get to talk when they stand up?
As long.
See, just like the MLB getting that pitcher's clock, we need a talker's clock.
Nope.
Straight up.
They be putting it on us.
We need a talker's clock.
You got 3 minutes.
Low key, though, I can't appreciate them bringing in the electronic voting, though.
I appreciate the electronic voting, but I think you need to be in person. Like, I want to see it.
I agree with that.
Like, I want to see it on the board. I think it is great to see them on the board so you can see how people voted.
Mm-hmm.
So you can take a picture and be like, here's the green light, here the red lights.
Someone ain't here today. Where they at?
You know what? You know what I can't wait for 10 months for? I have not been in City Hall since we had a new mayor. Like, not in the good spots, like in the chambers and all that stuff. You know, I would be like, man, why y'all be? I'm ready to get back to cracking. I'm ready for the business. But do you understand that by the time we start back all over again, Ruthie, there will be no Michigan Avenue?
What it's gonna be?
I mean, it'll be Michigan Avenue, but it's gonna be empty. No Water Tower Place. No 900 North Michigan shops. The back end is gone. You saw the they ain't never took the boards off of the they have not taken the boards off of the Ferragamo store, and now they just hired dogs and armed security to. Have you been to like Nordstrom's or like Saks Fifth Avenue?
I drove like past.
They got dogs. They got like goons standing inside now.
Oh wow!
Like if you go by the purse section. But can I tell you what the best story I read about all of this was the last person they got caught scamming was an Asian person.
Good.
Only because, you know, when you think of the scammer and all that, first thing you think is us. They was like, he came in and scammed them out of everything, and they let him do it. Because they was like, oh, of course. He was like, I'm about to take advantage. Oh, you gonna say I'm from, and you gonna just let me touch stuff that can't nobody else touch, and I can pick it up and walk around with it like nobody else? Oh yeah, yep. Of course I got a $20 million card. Then the lady come back like, y'all been letting this dude use my card?
Hey, yesterday I went to Sam's Club, and there was this lady in there. She was like dressed to the nines. She had on heels, hair laid, everything.
She was taking everything.
And me and my sister was like, man, she really dressed up. You know, they always say women should dress up to go to the grocery store.
They do.
That's what they say. So we like, okay, maybe she dressed up because she, you know. So, you know how when you leave out, you taking a chance if you're stealing because they randomly scan something in the cart to make sure it match up to your receipt.
Is that what they do?
So you got a pretty good chance if you're trying to steal something, like you just taking a chance. Do you know this lady had not paid for the majority of the liquor in her cart? Perfect. I mean, good scam. If you're going to steal from the grocery store, you dress up to look. It was just the craziest thing to watch it now. The good thing is the people, they just let her, oh, you just forgot to pay for it. Okay. But, you know, I'm seeing like all the stuff she forgot to pay for. And I'm like, really, sis? 3 bottles of liquor and the mixers. You know, I'm talking about the big things.
The gallons. Well, that's
gallons. So I just thought that was a very interesting thing to see.
So it's funny you say that because I always pay attention, like when black folks go to like the luxury stores, like say they going to Oak Brook or say they going to Michigan Avenue, they tend to dress up to go.
Yep.
And the thing is, the people who usually, if you dress up to go, then you ain't the one. Like if you walk up in the Louis Vuitton store dressed to the nines, they gonna be like, no.
Yeah, but it was just crazy. It just showed me just how like
appearance.
people really just like, be going to steal. Like it's like I'm finna plan to go steal. I'm finna plan to go steal. Like how you putting on your heels to go steal?
You can't even run.
I don't know. She was normally in those situations.
She was
I be
not
feeling
stealing.
like
She was finessing.
I feel like they'll normally like take it to the back, pat you down, but they literally just let her go pay for it. And I was like, wow. So that was different.
I think you have no option. Like, I think in self-checkout, you really don't have an option but to tell them to go pay.
That's what she did. She went through self-checkout and forgot to scan some stuff.
Hey, man, I have You know what? I'd be so scared. I'd be like, okay. I'd be like, I'd be like, all right, I got the organic tomatoes. Should I just charge myself for the regular tomatoes? And I'd be like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'd be right there. I'd be like, I can't do it. Damn you, organic tomato. And look, and Ruthie, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to just take the white bag.
That's so funny.
I'm going to take the white bag. Like the cilantro gets me all the time. Because the cilantro be, if you get the regular, it's 3 for 99 cents. If you get the organic, it'd be like $3.
For one.
Right.
one sprig of cilantro.
Then I'll be like that. So I get the one, but then I'll be like, oh, I wonder what it would be like and I just can't do it. I'd be like, no, I got to get the organic green peppers. Damn it.
They taste the same.
Yeah, but they don't have the same chemicals.
Sure.
I don't appreciate you, Ruthie. I'm trying to
Organic
eat healthy.
scam.
I'm trying to eat healthy. I'm trying to, I'd be like, because they make the organic section look so fluffy.
No, I'm with you. I tend to do more fruit than vegetables.
See, and I'm like, I like fruit when I eat it, but I just am never inclined to eat it. Like
You gotta prepare. You have to. If you prepare it, it'll be better. Like if you know you want to eat some berries, wash them off, put them in a bowl so you can just grab them, and you ain't got to think like, oh, I gotta wash this off.
I wash everything before it go in the fridge.
And then do you put it in like easy grab containers, like out of the refrigerator?
Nah, because I'm trying to get around all the takeout stuff we got in there. I'd be like, we ordered takeout. We be like I promise you. I swear to God, I be feeling like I'm going to starve. So I ordered, we went to Home of the Hoagie this weekend. We sent Riis. I was like, get 4 sandwiches.
For later, right?
No, damn well, we got 2 of them sandwiches still in the refrigerator. It took me 2 days. It took me 2 days. Right, but they said Americans throw away 50% of their food now. All right,
50%?
Yep, because of the expiration dates. I was just talking to one of the richest men I knew in the whole world. And he said, I don't care about no expiration dates. My kids be throwing stuff away. I'd be like, that ain't no. I was like, man, dog, if it say 2 days after, I'm through.
I told you what my grandma said. Expiration dates was invented by the white man to make you spend more on groceries. And the person you talking about probably like 60, 70, 80.
80. He'd be like, I'd be like, dog, now you got a whole steak lobster. You got a whole lobster farm in your refrigerator. You talk about somebody can't throw some bread away.
We used to sneak and throw stuff away at my grandma's house. And she used to know. Like every canned good, like,
can I tell you what?
Grandma, you don't need this pet milk. Like, what is pet milk anyway? Is it for the dog?
Have you ever, okay, so I'm gonna just tell you. Like, Carrie will save everything, and she will eat leftovers for 3. Like, I bet you today we ordered them sandwiches on Saturday. I bet if I don't cook dinner tonight, she will eat that sandwich still. I'd be like, one day, like I ain't coming back for the leftovers.
Are you serious? One day,
man, please. Unless it's something super good, like say it's some meat left over from tacos, then I might do that. But let me tell you, Carrie will wrap 1 piece of bacon and put it in the freezer.
Yes. You know how much bacon costs?
1 piece?
Do you know how much bacon costs?
What you gonna do with 1 piece? You better eat that.
Crumble it up and put it on a potato or something. You got to be more frugal, Maze. Groceries is expensive.
I am gonna tell you, I did go to the grocery store the other day. Was thinking,
got 4 things and spent $400.
I was like, man, y'all might not get no vacation this summer.
Y'all get groceries.
Like you getting groceries at this mug.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like one of those things that it's like, what else are you supposed to do except to buy groceries? So I'm just like, you know what? Let me just try to buy this stuff in bulk to save a little bit. And I just got to go through the extra steps of properly sealing it up so that it stays fresh and things like that.
You better get with Deacon Quarles, man.
I'm just kind of over it. I do eat out a lot too, Maze. I'm with you.
You know what though? I did get a food saver, and they're always cool when they start. When you always get, I've had like 3 food savers. Right? They're cool. They really are. You get your stuff,
I love them.
Vacuum packed and everything. Then you just be like, "Where's my Ziploc? Pass me a Ziploc." Even though this new food saver I got has bags, so you could just you ain't got to seal both sides or whatever. It's I actually, but you know, I got one.
You got the little cutter.
I know. Thanks.
Great invention.
Cloud 11. Appreciate you. All right, it's the Maze Jackson Show. Hey, you know what? We've been talking all this time, Ruthie. We ain't even say what's up to DJ Riis the Ruler.
And I heard you talking smack about me, Riis, when I wasn't here. About that key.
I heard you, man. Did your blue key right today?
I don't have a blue key anymore.
No, I was asking Ruthie that her blue key. Or did you know? Because I heard that. At least you ain't do the Riis. You know what I'm saying? You created the Jackson bottom. You created the Jackson bottom. Well, I was bad, but I wasn't Riis bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, you know what?
She said,
"You right. You right. You right."
She did
you
your
right.
voice and everything.
No,
Listen.
this what happened. This what happened. You know, Maze is very a creature of habit. So if you throw off his feng shui, like he ain't going, it's just stuff don't be going right. So I said, okay, Ruthie, you can at least make the man smile. So I just said, hey, boss, my bad. It wasn't my fault. I ain't even mean to do that.
and she gave me the keys, and I was like,
now you created the bottom. Now everybody was like, I was like, dang, that's something. Like, oh, okay, well, you know what?
You did the Riis.
Right, you right. You ain't do the Riis. Oh, you know what? You good, Ruthie. You good. Just go let me in.
She used her teacher's pet status on you, Riis. She like, you know when you be like, when your mama think you did it, like your mama be like, you always,
like,
I really didn't do it.
And you got in trouble like, I really didn't do it this
I promise I
time.
didn't do it. And they ain't even got to say nothing.
Trouble, like,
they be like,
I
didn't say you did it.
And I didn't even do it. I got suspended one time and I was like, I didn't. The dude that actually did it came and told the teacher he did it. She was like, nah, I'm tired of you. I'm sitting
all y'all.
I was like, he's telling you, listen to him, he did it. That's how I felt. He was like, he was like, okay, all right, Ruthie, you good, Ruthie.
You right. Oh my God! Did you
right,
say
Ruthie.
you
right, Ruthie.
Okay, so Bud Riis, how you doing today?
Man, I'm blessed by the best. You already know the rest.
All right, man. We got the whole squad in here. Y'all acting up today. We gonna get some gas for the plane. I don't know how far 150 gonna get us. Hey, do we all get our own card, or do we got because we family, and do we split it? And wait a minute, did you enter the raffle yet?
Not yet, but it's gonna be like playing the lottery.
You know how playing the lottery worked out for black people.
7-Eleven box.
Oh, Ruthie, I never even know how.
Triple ones.
7-Eleven box.
I was 7-Eleven.
Huh?
Right, you doing a 50-50. Give me back. Black people be in the lottery store. They be talking a whole different language.
I used to.
They be like 37 numbers too. You got that one wrong. No, dog. I can tell by the paper. I be like, man.
Then they tell you at the end.
Box.
$18.50, right? And they had the exact change. Like how you come in with $18.50 on the dot? Like how
they got their money, they lottery money planned out. Like the numbers never went away. Just the ownership of it. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Look, y'all, it's Maze, Riis, and Ruthie. Riis, let's get the plane up to 60,000 feet, and then we're going to take this plane into a commercial break, and we'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show? What's up?
Hi, this is Katie. How are you?
Hey! Okay, hold on. I'm going to make an official nomination right now that we make Katie the new president of the phone club. Riis, can I get a second from you, man?
I second it.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. Everybody tuned in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. If you vote that Katie should be the new president of the phone club, please signify by saying aye. The ayes have it. Congratulations, you are now the new president of the phone club. Katie from Ashburn.
We did it. You're going to be the next president.
How you doing, boss lady?
Thank you. Fine. Thank you. I accept that nomination. Thank you.
All right. You got drafted.
Maze Jackson.
It's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
And now, traffic and weather.
Yo, who said devotion had to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me.
Good morning. California. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:33 a.m. and I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports traffic and weather update. As we head over to sports, the Chicago Blackhawks will win in a shootout against the Knights 4-3, while the Chicago Cubs finally get back in the win column as they beat the Braves 6-3. The White Sox at home beating the Royals 7-3. Chicago Bulls will lose and be out of the playoffs as they lose against the Bucks 116-100. Let's head over to the traffic on the Kennedy. Overhead to the Loop will be 22 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 17 on the Edens. Inbound Deerfield to the Exchange will be 29 minutes. Exchange to Deerfield will be 26. While the Eisenhower with Thorndale to the Loop will be 34 minutes, 28 minutes back out to Thorndale. On the Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan will be 39 minutes. Outbound will be 29. The Bishop Ford I-80 to the Dan Ryan will be 37 minutes, 29 minutes to I-80. While the Dan Ryan is 17 minutes to the Loop, 13 minutes to 95th. On DuSable Lakeshore Drive South, 55th to Jackson, and back will be 7 minutes and 8 minutes north. Today's weather, it is currently 43 and mostly cloudy. Today will be a high of only 46 with a low of 37. I'm Riis the Ruler here on this Throwback Thursday here on The Maze Jackson Show.
Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Please. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around. From glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha. Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Dear Lord, it's me again. God's gonna turn it around. I'm calling on you. You did it before. I believe that you can do it again. Somebody calling you right now, Lord. If it ain't one thing we need, somebody else needs you for another.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host Ruthie Moore in here. Riis, you should have heard her impression of you though.
Oh, let it go.
Yeah, you know everybody else. Hey, when people do that, I be like, do I really sound?
It's just they trying to get that's as deep as they can get it.
No, really, it's
so
people.
Funny,
No, Riis, it's people impersonating Maze, impersonating you.
That's what it is.
Yeah, boss.
So is that what you was doing, Ruthie?
Yeah, boss. I left the key out there.
That's not how she did it, Riis. She tried to change it up. No, she tried to do it.
Hey,
okay,
Can I say the funniest part about that is when I was about to leave, I said, you want me to help you write your script for the day? He said, no, get out.
Ruthie, no, Ruthie, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, Ruthie. You would try it.
But then I said, could you not put me in it?
You was trying to. I usually just take the yell and then leave. Like I'm the child to leave right after.
I'm gonna try to smooth it before I go. I got to smooth it.
You cracking jokes. I'm wiping down. Look, let me get this little area a little bit more.
Can you just
it do be extra? Like you can tell on the days when I'm a little. Riis do be cleaning up just a little extra. I be like, Riis, what you do? What you doing, man? Riis be, man, like if it's a tough day, the doorknobs getting sprayed. Like Riis be coming around, he be like, excuse me, could you get up out the G spray the chairs over at that table? Right? He get all the garbage. He be going to get all the garbage. He check all the cans, right? Be done cleaned out the refrigerator and everything. Then I look at the time sheet and it still say 9:15.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Now let it be a day though. Look, you know, Ruthie, I'm still checking. You know, I'm just gonna tell this joke and I'm gonna let it be.
Oh. No, go
I
ahead.
still ain't seen a vacuum go around this mug since look. Riis was vacuuming every day when I went out of town. I ain't seen a vacuum come back on since.
Every day. It was on yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was on. It was on.
I gotta do it now because it be some people in the office. They be making a little mess, so I gotta make sure.
Let me tell y'all something. I be telling these people, y'all is in the Holy Land. I don't know if you heard Brother Anthony Muhammad, who sent me a whole straight slew of books yesterday. Man, and a DVD or a video. Shout out to Brother Anthony Muhammad and his wife. They coming back. They setting up an interview and all that good stuff. So
are you serious?
Yep,
yeah.
They're coming back. They actually are going to be. We're gonna be doing some live Zoom from some people in Atlanta who are actually starting their own towns. Black people starting their own towns.
I'm finna go.
I know, man. I told Brother Anthony he got a farm and stuff. He gonna have to when we come to open up his chapter, Ruthie. They're going to have to open up the crib. You know how like when Dr. King used to go to town and visit stuff? I'm not in any way, shape, or form, please be clear. But you go to town and then you had to go stay at the house as somebody and they got you food and then y'all did y'all thing and then you bounced out. Like when you go out of town, do you ever stay with people?
That's one of my favorite things to do. I will go somewhere just to go stay with somebody.
Really? You be walking around the house in their pajamas?
Listen, anybody home that I go to, I'm comfortable.
So you be walking around with your feet out and stuff?
If I go to anybody,
be in pajamas. What time do you get dressed? You be walking around?
Depends. It does. Sometimes time zones be different.
How late do you sleep at somebody else's house?
It depends.
Until I get ready
how
to get up.
How close you are to them.
Was I out? If I was kicking it?
If y'all was out them together.
Yeah, we was out together.
But do you sleep later than them?
If it's an older relative, no, you better get up and just act like you be up. But if it's one of my friends,
I'm sleeping.
And I expect you to tiptoe around your house. Because I would do the same. I'm a hospitable person. So if you come to my house, I ain't going to wake you up. I'm going to make sure you good. I'm going to make sure you got some food. Your towel's clean. I'm going to cater to you if you come to my house. And I expect that same treatment when I go to other people's houses.
Right. I just be like, man, that's why I just go to the hotel. Do they let your cousin come with you?
What?
Yo,
Maze.
If my cousin can't come,
know
I
me.
ain't come.
You already know. If you ain't letting if my family can't come, I ain't coming.
Oh.
Maze, I'm telling my people so good. My cousin be there for me. What type of people you need? You need good people in your life. But you just independent. You just get it on your own.
Do it on my own.
Yeah.
Make sure the hotel got a balcony. Be like, does that hotel have a balcony? Sorry. They would be like, what are you basing this hotel stay on? Balcony access.
It's wintertime. But sir, it's winter.
I don't care. You ain't got a balcony. If I can't walk out the porch, I'm not staying. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host Ruthie Moore, my man DJ Riis the Rule in the building. I told y'all the city passed gas yesterday. Gas cards only by 1 vote though. Just shows how weak the mayor is. Reverend Jackson calls for help from the feds. We ain't got no time for federal help to help us with the violence. We got to save Ukraine. City Council approves new Inspector General. Shout out to Nicole Lee, the new alderman of the 11th Ward, the new Asian American alderman. She supported the Chicago United map, a.k.a. the Black Caucus map. So it looks like she joined. They was like, it really don't make a difference, but I do think it's a symbolic difference. In that, like, I almost feel like respect the change, like your time is coming. Now, I hate, it's a weird thing, Ruthie, because I feel like, how people be like, wait your turn. And they we waited our turn and we got played for it. But I do feel like the Latinos need to wait their turn. But if we got to go to war to defend our position, just remember the victor go to spoils. Literally. So, but I think that the Latino caucus is caving. They tried to pull it yesterday and didn't have the votes in city council. So they was planning on trying to force a vote so that they could change the map to bring the white people in to side against us. Not happening. So now the walls are starting to close in. Vladimir Villegas. Yesterday he was 2 days ago he was a little capitulatory on the map Then I saw my man Frank Calabrese in the news today saying, if we reach a negotiated settlement, y'all was declaring war, and we reach a negotiation, and now y'all talking about negotiated settlement. Well, let me tell you how the negotiations go. 1 for you, 2 for me. 2 for you, 1, 2 for me. Like, it's got to be, if you tried to kick off a war,
it got to be some consequences and repercussions.
There it is. We're going to talk about that too. But I do want to point out that if you read the Sun-Times account, it does appear that Fran Spielman is writing from the perspective of the Latino caucus. Right? And that's because of who her real source is. But if you read the story, it's like she keeps calling our map. Again, they're now calling it the map drafted by the Black Caucus and Mike Casper. Like, everybody got lawyers. But they're trying to, again, imply that when the sister got the spot, she ain't capable of doing it.
Because it really should be the city map.
Right. So, but I think when you, it's those things that I read in the paper when I be like, okay, we know who gave you this story. But we also know who's really kind of feeding the info. So a lot of times what's happened in the case of the Sun-Times, especially with Fran, even though she is the number one reporter at City Hall, kind of like the dean of City Hall reporters, a lot of black aldermen particularly, feel like she instigates stuff because people read it in the paper and then it starts to blow stuff up. And so a lot of the aldermen have not been giving her the insight from the inside, right? A lot of times you talk to reporters off the record, but because her main source or the perspective of this has come from the opposition, she's not getting our side. So she's taking the information from them and then adding the facts around it. And let me not say adding the facts, but taking the interpretation of the actions from her. What they're not reporting is that many of the Latino aldermen they're not as unified as they appear to be. And so what happens is, on the propaganda side, you got to still push your narrative as though you're in a strong position. But we all know that the Latino caucus is cracking because their interests are different. So they're trying to put the socialists together as Latinos. They're trying to put the old school traditional organization, and then there's the factions. You got Gilbert Villegas, who's also running for Congress. See, to me, and this, Gil is my man, but you got to put pressure on every piece that they got. There's got to be that we got to find the white people that he needs to vote that are with us on the map and be like, we ain't going to be with you, right? We're going to be with your opponent, right? You got to start peeling them off. He's been running the money. And then you got to make the guys on the other side that are pushing the narrative from the back end feel the consequences, right? So if you are a City Hall attorney / lobbyist, and you are MF in the Black Caucus, it should be very difficult for you to eat at City Hall.
Who is Frank Calabrese?
Shout out to Frank.
Calabrese.
Frank Calabrese.
Calabrese.
Frank is you know what? I met that brother on the trail. Actually, he's like one of those political savants.
Okay.
He's a kid, and I don't want to call him a kid now because he's obviously grown up. I remember when he first started talking to me, I was kind of like, what are you doing over here talking to me about black stuff in a black ward? Talking about, I was like, what you doing here with my judges? But over time, I've come to recognize that this kid really knows his stuff.
Okay.
Right? A lot of times, so again,
a veteran map maker.
He's not a veteran map maker.
I'm reading this out of the paper. This is what Fran Spielman said. That's why I was wondering, because
I don't know if he was a.
I'm trying to tell you. That's why I'm looking at Fran now.
So I gotta check. Let me not dump on his credentials. I don't remember him being involved in the map making process 10 years ago, and I know he wasn't involved 20 years ago because he's too young.
Is that Frank Calabrese, the veteran map maker who carved out the boundaries for the Latino caucus, said both maps turned the Daley's 11th Ward bastion into one with the Asian American majority.
So I don't know about veteran. I'm gonna let that be, but I will tell you that the kid is a political savant. It's like when you building your team. You know how you like? Remember when in gym it used to be 2 people, the captains, and they pick first, second, third, fourth, fifth.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're picking strategists, that's like you want to get a kid like that on your team, right? The guy who's the wonk, the guy who's gonna, do like all the micro and gets all into the micro precinct, break it here, do all that. Like me, I ain't that. It's like, give me the map and we going to war. Do we all agree that this is what it is? So he's got very good insights. I think it's unfortunate that we are not grooming our own person like that. And they picked him up. But he is on the Latino team. And so again, if you pay attention, most of the quotes are coming from the Latino side. You don't see any black quotes, right? Because they not talking to her. Because she's been propagating. I'm not going to say she's been propagating, but the opinion is that she is getting her information from Vic and then throwing it into the universe to create havoc, right? Because, again, the master tactician who spent years doing it for Daly and then for Madigan, usually against us, is really behind the scenes. But they got to pull his name back because now all of this other stuff is happening with Madigan. And so the more you push him to the forefront, the more people going to be like, wait a minute. So, yeah, there's some crazy stuff going on. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because now I'm looking at this. I really used to enjoy reading Fran Spielman's
enjoy
stuff.
reading Fran. I just think you got to read it. You got to understand.
But now I'm looking at it a little side.
You gotta read it
and understand what it's,
right. Like I gotta tell you, she is one of the most respected. But I think people pick sides, and sometimes they don't recognize that they have bias. And I think a lot of times when you've been so used to watching somebody, like if you were in the city hall, you needed to be good with the Daily Squad to know, right? And then those people keep and maintain those relationships for years, right? And then that becomes your source. And even if the source isn't 100% right, and again, remember that if they wanted to whack you back in the day, the guy would give her the story. So there's an existing relationship there that I don't think exists with the black. And I don't know that we have a black reporter that has that relationship at this point. Like, say, back in the day, close to that would have been somebody like Charles Thomas, right? A political reporter, a black political reporter, Tamon Bradley maybe, right? Like, in those spaces. We don't have a lot of but they're not there every day. Fran Spielman is she reports to City Hall as her office. We don't have a person like that. And if we do, those people aren't reporting from a Chicago historical perspective. They're reporting from a wide-eyed, bushy-tailed somebody who hasn't necessarily been here or understand the history or dynamics. You'll never really understand kind of what I'm saying if you don't understand the years of what made you the top reporter at City Hall is. You got the best stories. But where did you get the best stories? From the administration.
So even our journalism ain't quite as independent as it
I think, like, when you look at it, realistically, Ruthie, this city was planned for, 30, there was nothing that wasn't in order. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like we're now in a place where y'all think everything, but the newspapers, they had the press, the reporters, they decided who they were going to make by giving them the information. I could just make you the person by not giving it to you. I'm going to give you the inside. Or if we're going to throw somebody under the bus, I'm going to give you the throw under the bus story. Here's what happened. Here's all the stuff so that the story doesn't look like it's me. It's whoever. And I'm not calling her specifically, but I am saying, you have to sources. Where do you get legitimate sources? And then you protect them. Who does a black person trust in City Hall to tell their story? Like, who do we go to as black media and say, look, they about to do me? Or, this is what's happening, here's the story. So, and again, I'm not trying to, like, shortchange her or her credibility, but I am saying that there is a Chicago way, and I think that let's not be, like, everybody want to talk about, like, it's not in the media. All this stuff that done happened in all these years and ain't no, like, we just now hearing about Madigan. We just now finding out about all this. Right? Like, and if you wanted to play the game, if you wanted the rest of the stories because nobody was touching dude. So I'm never getting this. So I'm gonna talk to you, I'm gonna work with you, and now everybody like, aha. But you mean to tell me that for all this time, all this stuff done happened and ain't nobody saw nothing? Nothing? Like, the great migration exodus of black people happened during all of this time. Nobody saw nothing. Who in City Hall told our story?
Okay, so it's just this one paragraph that kind of shows me what team this article is written for. And it's just the part about Mike Casper. It says, newly appointed Alderman Nicole Lee became the 34th alderperson to back the map drafted for the Rules Committee. It should have just stopped right there, but it says, for the map drafted for the Rules Committee and the Black Caucus by Mike Casper, who served decades as election law expert for now deposed Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan.
Now ask who told them that, though. Because the other person that's doing the map on the other side was doing the same exact thing.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's just this one little paragraph in there that makes me now look at this reporting style a lot differently, because I know that if you throwing that piece in there, it's for a reason. And that's why I asked you who is this other person, because it says that he's the person that's drawn, but it ain't got not a one little piece of little dirt on him. That's why I asked you. I said, who's this person?
Because Frank's straight. Because they got to push Frank to the forefront. If I'm going to say, again, so Fritz Kagan. I did it. I did the same exact thing that I'm complaining about, but I can't say it, so I'm going to put the nice, good, clean version up. And Frank is the person we going to put in front of the media. But realistically, the person who's orchestrating this was a political operative and election person for Mike Madigan for 10 years and Daley for 10 years before that. But if you quote him in the story, then what's going to happen is somebody going to say, wait, ain't he the same thing? And it's going to, again, reveal who's really feeding the information. Sorry.
I need some press credentials.
Now, you know. Oh, you might get some. They don't want me in City Hall.
This ain't right.
Huh?
We at least need one person that just black spin in City Hall.
But here's the problem, Ruthie. The person that would get it, and we're going to talk about this later, is realistically probably not going to have the perspective
to do the proper analysis.
See, like I think that people want to do politics, but
people want to do civics. Okay. And I think that's the difference, because I feel like most of the time, like if you go to journalism school nowadays, like you kind of probably learning civics. If you want to learn politics, low key Maze, I don't know if you can go to journalism school to learn politics.
You can't. Like, I feel like that's why a lot of times when we read these, like, I feel like it's almost why I go through the paper all the time and break these stories down. Mm-hmm. Because the journalists are writing from the perspective of the person who's telling them the story. They're not telling. So if I get to you first and I tell my story and you consider me an insider, you feel like you got the scoop. And you're going to be printing the inside scoop, but you're going to be telling it from their perspective.
and you have to reward me because I gave you
I
the
want to
scoop.
keep feeding you. I want you to keep feeding me this stuff. Now, if you don't understand the players in the game, then you're going to be excited when your phone calls and Insider A calls you up and says, hey, I want to sit down and give you an exclusive. Until you realize that Insider A is also Individual A, who is also the individual who spent 10 years dismantling our infrastructure. So now the person that's feeding you the story is really feeding you the story from the perspective of, I used to bust these Negroes up all the time. I need you to throw some meat out there so they can get mad at each other. I already know that the black people don't really mess with the Black Caucus, so let me throw a little meat out there for them and we're going to have them fighting each other. Oh, and here's the Negroes I know I could pick off top. Then when you look up and you say, how did the Black Caucus not stay together? Then you got to look at it and say, who jumped ship?
Mm-hmm.
And if you jump ship, why'd you jump ship and who'd you jump ship to? Mm-hmm. Then you got to be like, those old alliances and old relationships. We was talking about this daily thing. I had a whole segment talking about the daily thing, and like that when he turned 80, and it's a weird situation because Ruthie, do you remember when dude came in here and he was like, I'm a proud Daily dude? Like, I came from Daily. I ain't come from Rom. I came from Daily. He was the dude doing the neighborhood stuff and
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna throw him under the bus, but there is an allegiance and an alliance to the old ways by certain people that are, I often ask, I think this came up yesterday, would you rather the black people have a kingdom and you be a prince, or would you rather be a king? Like, if we could all be free,
mm-hmm.
and you could have your own space to be free, would you rather do that, or would you rather be a king over the people? And essentially, if you aligned with the Daily Squad, then you could be you could be given your own fiefdom. Instead of everybody being free, and then you could lord over the people.
Mm-hmm.
And there is you know how like people wish the old days could come back, because if the old days came back, you could be a king again. You'd be royalty. Like, I feel like let me just say this. Y'all gonna take this wrong, but I'm gonna say it anyway. If the Daily administration existed now, I probably would have figured out my way to a kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Because it did not, that path was destroyed. All the people that were on the path to kingdoms want their path back. And that path to a kingdom doesn't necessarily include us being free. It includes them being kings.
Like lording over the blacks.
Yep. And so we come from a whole generation of people who thought that their chance to lord over the blacks was coming. Self-included. Right? And I don't mean it from the standpoint of, but you was going to get your own little exit plan.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Whether it's you was going to, now for black people, it usually was a city job to a city appointment to right? Yours was usually inside of the system, because I promise you, Ruthie, I would tell you, 15 years ago, I don't think nobody black knew about lobbyists, really. Not in Illinois. Not really. And I'm talking about political. If you was in Springfield, you knew. But like if you was a black elected official, you ain't know you was getting lobbied. You ain't know when a dude came and gave you a $500 donation, you ain't realize he was a lobbyist.
Mm-hmm.
You just thought, hey man, he got. So a lot of that still that infrastructure or that way hasn't been broken up. It's getting broken up. But in that space, we don't have our own voices. We just don't have our own voices that, like, would tell the story. I'm going to talk about, shout out to my man Tyrone Muhammad. Did y'all see him in Capital Facts?
Mm-mm.
Another example of us, somebody else telling the story of us. And then it's in the universe. And it's like these people messing with this man's opportunity to do better. But because we don't have anybody who knows us or how to interpret what we're saying or doing, then you get white folks talking about us and redefining us. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. And the fact of the matter is, and I got to tell y'all this, for somebody who didn't go to, who's not, there doesn't seem to be an illuminated path to success. And that, like, if you go to college and you come back to Chicago, there's really not a path for you to get to the next level. Where there seemed at least to be one with it. Now, you had to get in compliance.
That's what I was about to say.
Now, you had to get it. But, again, people are okay with being in compliance if they know that they're going to be able to eat. If they know that in 20 years of compliance, I'm going to be able to walk away, have me a pension, make me X number of dollars, because we didn't know the other plateaus. Look, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
WIIFTVPN.
Maze Jackson.
What's up, Chicago? This is your man, Maze Jackson, host of the Maze Jackson Show. You hear me every single day ask the question, what's in it for the black people? Well, finally, y'all, we've got an answer, and it's called the Black People First Party. Meet us every second Saturday of the month from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at TP, located at 5401 South Wentworth, Unit 17E. That's in the mall at the 55th and the Dan Ryan. And you join us every second Saturday of the month, where we are taking our politics black. We'll teach you everything you need to know about the game, from how to collect a petition, to how to knock on a door, to even how to become the next mayor of the city of Chicago. That's right, y'all. It is the Black People First Party. Meet us every second Saturday of the month, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at TP, located at 5401 South Wentworth in the mall at 55th and the Dan Ryan. And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said. It's a black people thing you wouldn't even understand.
Maze Jackson.
Yeah, man. Ideas, man.
You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you want to be free. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you want to be free.
Let's go.
Standing my ground, I can't mess around now. It's like my time is in a bottle, captured by your love, yeah. Now I know women's got this thing going on. We can't stay around so long, but I wanna come correct. Baby, get your foot off my neck. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. Understand clearly, that you wanna be free. It's the time that you spend making me think within. Is the trust still beginning? Fade away from beginning of the day. I can see you trembling times, and I can see you wondering mine. Is it me considered? Is you that's with it? See, you don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see, baby, that you wanna be free. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind thee. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free. Yeah. I'm just trying to be the best I can. You can call me the troubling man. Matter of fact, I'm from the side of the street. Baby girl, you're calling on me. At the time that I feel your presence around me, something that I can't let go. Is your time, everything around me there. I just wanna hold on, but you don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind me. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free. I just wanna come correct best I can. Baby, get your foot on my neck. And just before you just leave, baby, I've been trying to tell you I can breathe. You don't have to find me, baby, walking right behind me.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
Church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies now other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Riis and Ruthie and Ty explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't trying to help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect, you oppressed, it's all wrong.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my girl, Ruthie Boy in the building. Shout out to my man, DJ Riis, the ruler. That's right, y'all. It is Thursday. We got one day left in the week.
Thirsty Thursday.
Thirsty Thursdays.
Let me get some of that white Henny out there.
Oh, no. You cannot have none of my
When you gonna open it?
When I'm at home by myself.
That's having people be watching your stuff.
Mm-hmm. You gonna eat that? You ain't gonna eat that.
Let me get a squid.
No, dog.
Is it a swig or a swig?
I meant to tell you about that. It's a swig.
Swig.
Swig, not swig.
Swig.
Swig is the elevated, I'm trying to be fancy. It's like that. But, Ruthie, you said something yesterday. What did you say in your...
I don't know. When?
Gleam? Did you say gleam?
I have no idea.
You did. You said, so we can gleam some more information. It's glean.
Glean?
Yes, not gleam. Gleam is like ding.
Wait, use it in a sentence.
I'm trying to glean more information from
It's
you.
glean, like clean?
Yes, glean.
Gotcha.
G-L.
Glean.
I think it's G-L-E-E-N. You spelled G-L-E-A-M. I was like, Ruthie? I was like, there go that Pembroke. I was like, is you CPS or what? No, I'm just playing.
I'm District 111.
365U is really the best, though. I just don't know really what.
That was the numbers that y'all had, 365.
365.
That's pretty cool.
It's Bolingbrook. It's the greatest. What are you talking about? You be forgetting, don't you? Go ahead. It's okay. You can say you forgot.
I forgot, Maze.
Thank
My
you.
memory escapes me.
Thank you.
The amnesia is kicking in.
Right. It's like your memory.
My cousin.
And your eyeballs be all messed up. Talk about some Alderman Burnett look better than me. I couldn't even believe.
Oh, my goodness.
This dude.
Let it go.
You tell this dude to let it go. He like, you just mad. That's why I couldn't go see Robert De Niro, because he holding out, talk about, you told Ruthie I look better than you, so I'm not going to tell you about Robert De Niro. Dog, you ain't going to tell me about Robert De Niro for real.
Quid pro quo.
Dog. I mean, look, my man chilling. Robert, I'm like, is that God, the Godfather? Is that, look, he was cool. It was a great time. Maze, I was so excited. You should have seen all the celebrities there. It was the best day ever. I was like, you don't sound like it. Man, why are you tripping? Ruthie said, I'm fine. I was like, she did not say you was fine.
Yeah, people just run with
right, he just took it and ran.
She said, Denzel ain't got nothing.
I know me. Talk about, she said I dress better than you too. You do not dress better than me either, dog. I just get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Right?
Next time we're gonna invite Ruthie.
Right. Ruthie, they're gonna be on the roof. Darlena got my back. No, he ain't.
Nah, they gonna be on the roof. She gonna be like, is this Ruthie? Push her. She like, come on to the roof. You right. Come
on, look over. Ruthie, look down there.
I got a chair for you, Ruthie.
Oh, my stomach hurt.
He look good, huh?
He look good. How good does he look, Ruthie? Nah.
Y'all just
do he look good from this view?
Look, I'm cable. Look, since you want to come, okay.
You said from this angle, bombs away. Mrs. Burnett, no!
Don't forget we got the roof coming up.
Me.
She'll be like, our office hours are from 9 to 5.
Her book was good. Your book was so good, Mrs. Burnett.
How many copies did you buy though? Look, you like, let me get that Amazon. I'm about to buy me a few more of them real
my
quick.
Stomach hurts so
Look,
bad.
next thing we know, we're gonna have a book review up at the Obsidian, starring Darlena Williams Burnett. Book signing, all complimentary copies, all bought by Ruthie and Alderman Burnett.
I ain't playing no games. I get them. She already know.
All right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Ruler plus Ruthie Moore. Riis, did we even welcome the Saints and Sinners? Hey, Saints. I know it's y'all was like, this ain't the song. You like, we done went to stalking and we ain't even say Church Chicago. Shout out to everybody from Church Chicago. Shout out to the Saints who join us every day from 6:30 to 8. That's right. You join us every day from 6:30 to 8 on WBGX 1570 AM. You can give us a call at 872-259-7474. 872-259-74. Now, if you are one of them sinners, that means you probably get here at 6 and you got to stay till 9. And you can check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all of those outlets live. Or you can catch those. You can also get those. You can catch the replay. It's Glean. Thank you, Avis. It's Glean, Ruthie.
You ain't even know how to spell it, Bolingbrook.
No, I said it was Gleea. Yeah.
Bolingbrook. No, you didn't. 365.
Oh, see how you got that down.
Listen.
The greatest.
No, because 365 is like
365. You. No.
And, it's like a complete.
No, it's a year.
Is that where y'all got it from?
365 days.
Did they make it up off of that?
No, we're just geniuses.
Maze, name me like 3 famous people that graduated from Bolingbrook. And yourself, you don't count.
Robert Farmer.
Who was that?
Famous NFL player. Joseph Yesufu, who just won the national championship.
Nope.
And what's my man who just won the Olympics? Who won the long jump in the Olympics? I can't think of his name right off the top. Ruthie, don't make me. Lloyd Kerr. Could you please pull up the Bolingbrook all-time greatest list and put it up so y'all can understand how great we are? Like, I got to call our bona fide expert. Like, you got, because look, we got so many NFL and NBA players now at this point. We got Olympians.
Get out of sports. Give me some contributions to humanity.
Maze Jackson.
You can't count yourself. You can't count.
Hey, how can I not count myself?
You can't
so
count
you said
yourself.
my contributions to the world don't count? What about Tennille Jackson? How many people has she employed?
This ain't got nothing to do with Tennille.
Oh, see, look.
Don't try to
Now
bring
you
it
get
to the
scared out. Look, so Tennille don't count? Is that what you said?
You are so good.
I'm just saying. It's called leverage, right?
No, it is.
Ruthie.
No, that is not.
That's
no,
leverage.
That's not
so
leverage.
Now you gotta consider what you're saying. So you
that's-
saying she not good?
It's trickery.
You said no. It's leverage.
It's trickery.
It's leverage. So you'd be like,
You should have went to law school.
if I wouldn't have gotten in trouble, I probably would have. That's why.
You
But
should
you
go
know me and
online.
Alderman Burnett, according to the BGA, you did crime, I did crime. Let's do crime together.
You got in trouble? I know you got in trouble. I thought it was gone. You know, I thought it was. Are you a convict? Are you a felon, man?
No, I'm not. I beat I did not. Remember the story. I was charged with felonies as the paper reported, but I had a public defender who was adamant about the fact that I do not sign the paper. I was locked up and I wanted to go home, and they brought the paper by, Riis. You know how I go. They like, look, you want to go home? You been here a couple days. You look like you about ready to go. You know what I'm saying? They brought the paper. I was ready. No sooner was they was bringing me. You know how they try to do you with the chicken and all the good stuff and sign the whole joint. The attorney said, "Put that away. We ain't taking that. Go back to your cell." I was like, they said I could go home. Go back to your cell.
What was that lady's name? I know you remember it.
Ann Einhorn.
I'm gonna look her up.
She then became the next time I caught a case. She was the judge, and she was like, "Didn't I just save you?" She was like, "You got one more chance." She gave me probation and she said, "Go home." She said, "Get out of Champaign because they're clearly targeting you, and you will be in Menard this time in a year from now because they're not going to let you off." And so I came back to Chicago.
It's all good, man. At least you ain't do the Riis, man. It's okay.
No, I did the Riis. I just didn't do the Riis sign. Right? She was so adamant about me not signing it because she was like, if you get that F. She was like, how you got straight A's and you sitting up in here at the University of Illinois? This don't make sense. Cause man, it's that peer pressure. You be wanting to be, it's like there's more, you get more props for being black and tough than you do being black and smart.
Sadly, right?
No, I'm saying like I think about the fact that I dropped out of honors classes because I wanted to be with the regular black people. Like, I could have had a whole year of college completed, but I was willing to quit it all to be with the cool people, which I did junior year. So instead of my senior year doing my college year and having my freshman year done, which I had the credits to do, I just wanted to get out of all the honors classes and be with the regular people, with the black people. And I'm going to tell you, I had more fun my last 2 years, but it also... Like, I also got involved in some stuff in trying to live that way that, you know, I got all the way in and got in college. Like, it all got real in college when they closed that door. Like, when they was like, ain't nobody coming. You got to come in the back. And I had been seeing people go in the back all day long. Like, wasn't nobody coming for them. Like, they was like $300. You going in the back. What? For $300? Please, though. I don't want to go back there. And then you a college student and all that stuff you've been doing that's imaginary that you think is right, that you don't realize has a real-time consequence. When they close that door, and you standing there in that orange suit with them plastic shoes on, you be like, "Hey, Joe, I want to go home." Like, I just want to go home. I don't care what you give me to sign.
Do you think it's anything that could have, like, prevented you from doing that? Like, what it would have took like a mind state shift for you or something?
I'm gonna tell you, my parents did
part of growing up?
everything. I had every single advantage in the world, even up to the fact that if I was not in the University of Illinois, like if I would have been a townie, I would have been gone. But because I was at the University of Illinois, they was like, okay, you made it down here and you got straight A's. Okay, this is an aberration. I think that being tough or being hard even goes to, we was talking about women. right? When you get tough and you get hard, I started getting way more action, right? And then it feeds into a whole thing. And then don't let it be some people that's willing to follow, that's willing to get down. Then it becomes almost like it was like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And do I think that I don't think that my parents could have given me any more love. I don't think they could have given me any more responsibility. I don't think I had to work. I had to do everything. They thought I was, and all the time I'd be doing all type of crazy stuff. Right? Trying to prove that I wasn't just a smart kid. And I feel like I even over-exaggerated the toughness, or let me say, did extreme things to prove that the school thing didn't matter. And I don't think that there is anything that anybody could have done at that point, because I determined that bad was good. And I think when the door closed, like everything that I was doing was just imaginary. It's like you don't really think that this is an actual crime. Or you think it's a crime, but you don't know. Like until I had never seen the inside of remember, I thought when I got called in Augiel Gardens, I was like, hey, officer, I'm from Bolingbrook. And he was like, what you doing out here? Man, go home. Crack all in the bag. He picks up that bag, I'm gone. So, and even after that though, like there was like when Boys in the Hood, when Minister Society came out. Oh yeah. It was hold on. Everybody thought they was O-Dog. Not everybody, but it was a whole caliber of people who was trying to be a version of O-Dog. I would put myself in that category. And the more O-Doggish you act, the more actionable you were at school. And the lames who are now the super hype, you in engineering. What? Fool making $400,000 a year. Yep. And I think a lot of times, so I think like when they talk about the influence of music, and when they talk about like when I think about who the peers of our kids were, right? Does everybody wake up and be it's funny, and I'm watching you too, Shiro, talking about fake until, again, if somebody gets shot, how fake is it? Right? Like, it's funny to me because I always think that's exactly how we get down this path, right? Because you got Negroes egging you on to be like, oh, you ain't real. Okay, so I'm going to take you to the next step.
100%.
And it be like, and so now what you got is people trying to prove that they do because somebody said you ain't or you won't. And then once you do it the first time, right, then that's when you get, then you get O-Block. Remember it was Studio Gangsters and everybody made fun, then niggas got real. And it's like, it's so hilarious to me because you decry what's happening in the streets, but you drive people to it. My brain wasn't fully developed. I'm going to be clear. So I think how many people right now are listening to music emulating that?
What?
How many?
A lot.
Right. And how many people who maybe even had parents who poured into them are listening to the music and they go outside and pull something stupid? You calling them fake until somebody shot. Until somebody shot, and then you mad because they like, well, why would this good kid do this? Because he busy trying to prove he ain't fake. Every fight I got into was somebody trying to say, "Oh, you from Bolingbrook?" I'm from Bolingbrook, okay. And it's only until, and then it's you from Bolingbrook, so you grab a gun, right? I'm Bolingbrook this. right? Do you remember Banging in Little Rock? I always laugh because I think about that movie. Like, how many times people from the city would come in and be like, oh, you ain't nothing, to a suburb. And then all the suburban people be like, oh, we actually a little bit wilder trying to prove what we think is in the city. You know? And I think we oftentimes, it was going back to that conversation where I was saying, like, I'm not trying to force my son to feel like he got to go. He got to go out he got to go walk through Obach to prove his black manhood. That's not it. It's like, that's actually dysfunctional. When we feel like we have to put our children in the face of death to prove their black manhoodness, instead of them having the ability to grow and be full trees and see all of the wonderful things that exist in the world. And who you are is who you determine who you're going to be. Riis, you ever remember, Ruthie, let me ask you too. You ever seen a kid growing up and then they turn into, one day they was Lil Ron and then they like, I'm Lil Murder now? And they tell you, like, you see that switch in a kid when they be like, man, don't call me by that. This is my street name. He was everything until he makes the decision. There's a point which, now some of y'all graduate into it, but a lot of people make a decision.
I don't know. I don't know if most young people feel like they consciously making a decision.
Ruthie, I lost so many guys from Bolingbrook and in McLean County at Illinois State. A lot of the people who were plugged in Chicago came to Illinois State and found that there was a deck down in Illinois State, right? So you come from the city, or you come from Bolingbrook, or you come down, and then you get down to a small town where they banging in Little Rock. They was gang banging, it was folks, it was vice versa, it was everything in I-State. But then you know something, so you come down and they all fall in line under you because you from the city. Now you part of the local crime network. Now, those people that was doing city stuff is doing city stuff in the in McLean County, and they arrest you. When you go, I mean, it's I feel like a lot of times we push people into these spaces where they be like, every night I got to prove my love. And when you think about, you always talk about like, well, the tough guys don't got to do nothing. Okay, but all the other people trying to emulate that be the ones. It's just
it's a cycle.
It's a cycle, and it's like we perpetuate it. We perpetuate it because
our culture perpetuates it.
Right.
Society perpetuates it.
So our idea of manhood oftentimes revolves around, I keep telling you, physical.
But that ain't just a black thing. That's a man thing. That is a universal global man law.
I agree. But there is a growth out of, like, I feel like I think that is the option that we always have. Like, I feel like it's a man thing until you get to, let's say, 25 or 30. Then you say, okay, that's a lawyer thing. Okay, that's a legal, we're going to let the legal process.
I don't think that's an age thing. That's an economic thing. That's a money thing.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. All right, y'all, I'm going to open up the phone lines. Give us a call, 872-259-7474, 872-259-7474. What's up, caller? You on the Maze Jackson Show?
What's going on, Maze?
What up, James Big Slim Davis?
And now I want to take notion to that whole thing about when you said you wanted to be tough instead of being smart, or you wanted to be with the regular people. First of all, being at University of Illinois, nobody is dumb there. First of all, if you're in that institution, and to be smart and tough, it's not. I know a lot of smart, tough guys, but what smart guys did that was tough, they made smart decisions. I mean, to say that you how how can I put this? You relinquish your smartness. You always been smart, bro. It's just that you didn't make smart decisions. You understand what I'm saying? Like that whole notion of when they say somebody who's smart think they're white. I think that's crazy as hell. Because being smart don't make you act white. Your thinking makes you act white. Somebody who talks proper, that's not because they think they're white. They just talk proper.
James,
so you could have.
Can I just say
what I'm
this
saying. You could have still been tough. Yeah, go ahead, bro. Yes, right.
And I'm gonna let you continue, but again, when you're a young person, you don't really recognize that dichotomy, and now you're older.
Right, you're right.
You get it now, right? Like when your parents tell you to go to school and do all this stuff, you be like, "Yo, why are you telling me to do this?" Until you get it later on in life. So some of us were undergirded and said, okay, I'm not going to go outside those rails. And then you think about the people that did. But I don't think that I was less smart. I think that there was a penalty in blackness for being smart or for white people separating you and putting you in a place, right? So if I never was in class with you, right, because I'm always in the class with the advanced placement class, so we never get a chance to build a relationship. So all you see is the Oreo that's over there with the white people. Then there's a certain time when you tired of walking into school and being like, damn, I can't have no fun. They having fun over there. I gotta read Plato. I gotta read Faust. I gotta do 300 vocabulary words. And you say, man, there's no benefit. There's no reward. Ooh, dog. There's no reward for being smart in the black community. There is no reward for...
I disagree.
Tell me what it is.
I disagree.
Besides honor roll. Show me where we highlight smart black kids. Show me.
I've seen it all throughout my coming up and going to high school. You know, I got a partner right now who was, when I tell you, at freshman year, he was carrying trigonometry books. Very intelligent. He had a scholarship to Notre Dame and all of this. But he was, I guess it was his personality. He had this coolness, he had this swag, he had the women. He hung with the so-called quote unquote thugs or gangbangers, but he wasn't that. He was able to adapt to his environment because of where he grew up. But the man was smart. The way we see smart people, if you meet him, you wouldn't think he was smart. You would thought he was just like another brother off the block. You understand what I'm saying?
But
so
you
I think
see
a lot
what
of
he had
times
to
it's
do,
your
though?
personality.
But you see that, though? He probably had to dumb it down.
It was natural. But no. It came natural. He never. It wasn't something that he tried to do. It just came natural. But he was so damn smart. Smart as heck. But I think a lot of times it's your personalities. I think a lot of times it's just about making, like you said, but when you're young, we don't make good decisions. But it's also about adapting to your environment. Because I like Maze, I would consider you, I think it's the greatest attribute a black man can have, is being a corporate thug. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that you are able to step on both sides of the street. You are able to adapt to your environment. You are able to sit at a corporate board meeting, and you are also able to communicate with some brothers on the block. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. I don't, obviously I don't want to acknowledge it because then it'll be ego-driven thing. But I do. I'm saying I just really feel like y'all, a lot of people do not understand that space, right? I don't think that you understand the dynamic of being a black man where in the turn that down, put him on mute. That I don't know that a lot of times we look back at it and say all good. But I don't even know that black parents really know, if you haven't experienced that, even know how to support your children through it. And it is a battle. I can't tell you how many times, even people at school, how many people at school went to school, y'all talk about them, they became, you call them fake thugs or whatever, but they was doing actual stuff, right? They was actually selling dope. They was actually carrying guns. And if they got caught, the consequences were not fake. When I got caught, the consequences were not fake. And I think we got this, and you create this space where, again, you don't give the tree the opportunity to grow. And if it does grow, it feels like it has to hide its light. So I got to dumb it down. If I'm not willing to go to jail, if I'm not willing to die, if I want to live, then we question your commitment. And I think that's not necessarily the best paradigm. Like, a measure of your black commitment to blackness, no shade to nobody, is not because they put you down. Your commitment to blackness is trying to prevent as many people from ever having to experience that. And that not being a measurement of, like, I feel like at a certain point, there is a certain caliber of us that measure you by whether you've participated in the life. Which is why 3/4 of the people that are at the forefront don't get the support of the masses. Because you belittling them for not having went through some of the challenges that our brothers went through.
Okay, I understand.
Okay, I'm sorry, James. Yeah, so
but just the last thing, amazing. I'm done. I had a partner. This was just another smart guy. I mean, he was that dude. He was that dude. He did what he did. I mean, he was one of the major block boys. But as he went on in his lifestyle, he had the smarts to understand. He created himself an out, and he was the only one out of the four. They was like they called themselves the 4 kingpins. He was the only one out of the four that's not sitting in jail right now because he created himself an out. This was that smart dude who incorporated his smarts in what he was doing. So what he did is he made a decision to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do with this money. And he did it. This is what I'm saying. It all goes together. It's just about making smart decisions.
I agree.
You could be tough. You could be that dude. You can still be smart because it's all the smart ones make the smart decisions.
How many smart...
And the women like whether you like it or not, the women like the smart ones. Especially them corporate thugs with that swag and that street and all that. But
now, because you ain't got a chance to be a corporate thug at 15, 16, 17 when you committing it, right? So, yes, that, like, we are talking about it looking back, not in the present. There is no reward for being smart. There isn't. Now, black smart, if you black and you smart and you in a classroom, the teacher is trying to prove that you're not. Or they're patronizing you, or they're going to bring you in to tell you not to be like them. They are. Then you walk out that classroom and get sent into the universe, and you watch and you looking and seeing who getting the action. Who got the girls? Who's the athletes or the thugs? Well, what's the math club ain't nobody at the math club cheering. They are now. Shout out to Rago Babo and the mathletes. But now smart is being cool. Like, cause the nerd has somewhat
smart ain't never it's
tech.
I think part of it is thinking about like the era that you grew up in. Like, and I know the music was like different and the culture was different when you was growing up. So maybe the girls did look for the rapper baggy pants or whatever y'all used to wear back in the day. But I think with the expansion of technology, the world, when I was growing up, got a little bit smaller. And so there were like playing like video games and stuff like that was not necessarily as quote unquote nerdy as it probably used to be. So I don't necessarily think it's got to always be one way. Like either the girls like the thugs or they either like the nerd. Like it's like a spectrum of people. There's a spectrum of young Black people. Some of them might be in the honors classes, like some of them might be in the advanced placement classes, like, but I do agree with you, Maze, that, you know, sometimes we do dumb it down, but I had the great experience of being able to be one of the honors kids, but we was like the cool honors kids, but we complained all the time because the way that they, you know, tier these schools should really be criminal. When you look at it's tracking. When you see all the white kids and a few of the Black kids in the honors and the AP classes, but then all the Black kids is in the regular classes. And literally they tiered us like this from junior high to the point that they tracked us onto these academic teams, which then made us feel like we were better than the other kids. And so I think that's a problem too. It's the way the school systems sometimes be set up. Like schools be dividing up young people.
I mean, I think they did that on that show that talked about Oak Park River Forest and how Black parents had gotten their kids and they thought they were putting them in the education system that would give them a better chance, and then they got marginalized in the school. I do think the cool kids now can have swag because they got money and clothes and all of that stuff. I'm saying I don't know that there was a cool kid swag. There was, like, cool kid swag as smart came with economics. Like, I feel like there were white parents who had their kids who bought them the Nikes and bought them all the stuff so that when they hit the playground, you really couldn't front on them. But if you wearing the Monday shirt with the Thursday shoes and then you ain't in none of the classes and you be with the white kids, so here's what I am suggesting. I am suggesting that we do not we don't. I think that a lot of these things happen because we haven't necessarily our idea of manhood, in my estimation, goes through. Why are you looking like that? Because we down so bad.
No, I'm just saying we back to our broken homes.
Oh, yeah, that too. I mean,
because you're talking about manhood. Who's supposed to be passing down what manhood is?
Let's go to the caller. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What's up, caller? Hello? Caller? Hello? Hey, caller.
Hello?
What's up, Devo?
Hey, what up, bro? What's going on with it, though? What's up, Ruthie? What's up, Riis? Man, hey, man, this is just an example of our shared experiences, as Black men. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just talking to Brother Tone last night about this same topic. We never got a complete set of values, and because of that, we're always in search of this completeness. So, out of all of my partners growing up, it was one daddy out of many of the Black males that I came in contact with. Then you add on to that all these single mamas, low income. My mom wasn't on welfare or nothing, but we wasn't rich by no means. I might have had 3 or 4 pair of pants. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't cool, but you're going to find people who you respect and who show love, and that's who you gonna gravitate to. Now, if they're academically smart, I guess, then that's cool. But it's gonna come to a point where you have to be physical and you have to kind of jump down so you can get the respect, that you're searching for. Because, like Ruthie will say, we be down so bad that the world don't respect us. So the only thing we can do is try to do something in the community. But you got to think about it. In our generation,
a lot of the men was gone. So you're not seeing a man that get up and go to work at the plant. You're not seeing this. You know what I'm saying? So you only seeing the dope boys. So that's your ghetto hero. You know what I'm saying? So his wins is your wins, his losses is your losses. So you try to model that behavior, because like I said, it wasn't no corporate thugs back then. They wouldn't be in your neighborhood because everybody that could make it out, they left and they never came back. You know what I'm saying? But now I think as the Gen Xers have grown to be fathers in the homes, because you know we the fathers that came back into the house, and hopefully you made it through the war on drugs with your limbs intact, because a lot of people didn't when they didn't make it. So it's economic, bro, and it's due to lack of value. This week has just really been about love in the home and love in the community, and how does that impact the values that we see now. That's really what this continuum of shows is this week. It's literally the same. It's the same methodology. It's the same continuum. So, you know, these stories aren't unique. You want a solution? Separate the schools by gender. No more selective enrollment. Everybody learn the same thing. The black child can learn anything. You can teach a black child algebra in kindergarten if the teacher really, really wanted that to be done. You can teach them science. Where are the coding academies on the south and west sides in the black community? That's what we should be pushing. You want to get the smart kids and the kids, because you don't need a degree to get into coding. Teach the black kids coding. You'll change it in a generation, because they'll be leading in the new economy. They'll be leading in that. Okay. So that's really it, man. We just have to. It's the schools, and it's really just the home environment, bro. That's really what it is.
Man,
so you lucky if you make it out, bro. Real talk.
I agree with
we blessed. We blessed to even be here.
All right, that's my Vice President and President Devin Gordine. I'm gonna take another call. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What's up?
Yes. Good morning, you all.
What up, Gregory? Hold on. Let me do it. Gregory. It's not Greg. This is not Greg Sherman. This is Gregory. Okay, I know I'm doing.
No.
This not Greg. Oh, Greg. Okay, well, welcome to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm sorry, brother. I thought it was Gregory. What's up? What's your name, caller?
George.
Okay, what's up, George? How you feeling, man? Welcome to the show. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you. Yeah. So speaking as a former principal, these are the things that I saw, that we do not reward the good kids, the smart kids. I'm gonna give you a prime example. So usually I had to have lunch with the children who had disciplinary referrals, who were giving the teachers problems. One day, the smartest girl in the school came up to me and said, "Mr. Love, how come I can never have lunch with you?" I said, "Why would you want to have lunch with me? Like, the kids who have lunch with me are the ones who are doing horrible things in the classroom and disrespecting." She said, "Well, I want to have your attention as well." And it blew me, because never did I think that they needed attention from the principal. And so I began to give attention to the kids who are on the honor roll. This thought process sometimes of parents of, I'm not going to reward you for something that you should be doing already. That is a resounding voice in our black community. You should be rewarding these children for doing what they need to do, getting A's and B's. Many parents feel like, I shouldn't have to reward you, but you have to, because of the images that these kids are seeing on Facebook, on social media. And another thing, Ruthie is correct. It's the home environment. We do have broken homes. There are many coding programs out here for children. The reason why our children don't go to them is because they cannot get transportation to these programs, because the parents are unable to bring them, whether they are working 2 or 3 jobs or whether they are not working. I've had many parents who I had to go to the homes to find out why they're not coming for report card pickup, why they're not coming for parent universities. And most of the times, I'm not lying to you, they will be at home in a T-shirt with do-rag on or whatever. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I didn't get the email. I didn't check my messages. When do we hold accountable parents so that they themselves can instill the values into their children? When you instill values into them during the school day, it's like pouring into a cup that has a hole in it. I can give this child as much love as I can, but the moment that they go home, all that love, all those values goes out of the cup. We got to do something to build up these families. We have to not necessarily stop investing into kids, but we have to invest into broken parents. We got to get the parents into the schools. We have to train these parents. They don't know how to be a mom. They don't know how to be a dad. And we had to go out of our way to have raffles just to bring them in for a parent university. The parents who came were the parents that we didn't even need to teach. It's the parents that did not come. We're like, oh my God, why can't you just come so we can enrich you and empower you? So
you ain't the boss of me. Don't tell me what to do. I'm the parent around here. What you talk about? Tell me, and don't say nothing to my damn kids. I got this. That's why, and thank you, George, for calling in. Ruthie, it makes me think about when they talked about that girl killing her baby because she didn't eat, because she wouldn't eat, and it's like she probably really didn't know what else to do but to. Okay, let's keep going. Caller, you on the Mace Jackson Show. Caller.
Good morning, Mace. Al Evans. How you doing?
What's up, Big Al?
I'm hanging in there, brother. Listen, I learned so much on your shows, listening to you, listening to Devin and the caller before me. And I just want to put in my little 2 cents. And going back to the rewards for being smart in the Black community. Life is a journey. So you being smart at a young age, your reward is today. Look at the people that listen to you. Look at the education you have provided others. So you can't just take one section of your life and not put it in this journey. Being smart, you are being rewarded today. As far as wanting to be on the streets with the brothers, okay, how smart you are, you're still Black. You know what's going on.
See, I think that...
So smart...
Can I just jump in real quick, Big Al, because I appreciate that, but I think...
Yeah, go right ahead. That's all right.
I think I have the value of not falling down the trap, right? So think about, we talking about this reward. Think about how many people we have said are smart, are geniuses, but they didn't have a place to deposit it, right? And so I'm grateful that I've made it, and I'm not minimizing what I've gotten, but I was just thinking, like, the time that cop kicked that bag and all them rocks was in there, and I didn't really know, that could have been the end of all this smartness, right? That, because I was busy, because at the time, for all of the great, the honor roll and all of that, that wasn't my immediacy as a young person. As a young person, man, dog, I got these feelings. I want these girls. I want this. And the quickest way to that is to be O-Dog. And I think one of the things that we have to take into consideration, and I think people always point to me and be like, you didn't. I'd be like, dog, I was doing so much dirt, like, that my parents had no clue about, and I was in church and I was at school and I had straight A's, but I was dirty. And I don't think that we understand the pressure sometimes, and I can't even imagine now with social media, because you got to have a money phone, right? Like, I was trying to have $200, $500. You got Dirk in them, and you got these kids showing themselves on internet with $10,000, $50,000 in, and now you got to walk outside and be, I got a good grades, right? And who rewards you for that? And then your parents. Like, again, my parents was like, boy, you better get some good grades. I'm not tripping on that. But I think we kind of just simplify it. Like, there's no one more powerful to a teenage boy than a teenage girl. Sorry. I don't care how much your parents are, and God help you if you sniff.
But Maze, that's why I said the other day that we have to teach comprehensive health curriculum. Like, we have to teach those things so that we can teach young people how to interact better with each other. And if we can make young people more secure within themselves, then they won't be seeking that in these external relationships.
I always want to be trying to talk.
Because you are absolutely right. Like, it's shocking how many young boys get in trouble or young girls get in trouble because they're trying to impress each other in some type of way. Like, if we don't get a handle on our young people forming relationships earlier and earlier, they forming relationships. And even when you look at the media, you can't, I don't want to say disgusted, but if you just watch the Disney Channel, like in these young kid TV shows, it's all about boy meets girl, girl meets boy. Like, and I'm just like, we really, I even started thinking about all these Disney movies. All of that is about romance and relationships. And it's supposed to be for kids. I mean, for young people. My bad. My bad.
Don't say gay, though, because this is what's going on in Florida, right? Where they saying, like, the whole Disney fight is been turned into a gay issue, but people are saying, can we just not sexualize, like at what?
But you know what?
And I'm saying, I understand you got to educate them now.
But let me say this, because I worked in the industry for a minute.
What industry?
In just teaching comprehensive health curriculum, so I kind of keep up with what's going on.
Okay.
What's happening now is, I'm just speaking,
Break it down.
What's happening now is the insertion of the LGBTQ plus agenda within comprehensive health curriculum for young people. And that's where parents are like pushing back. And my worry is that, okay, if the insertion of LGBTQ plus into comprehensive health curriculum is now going to push parents to say, I don't want my child learning about sex. So I think it's a double-edged sword, because I do think that young people need comprehensive health curriculum. But I do agree with parents' ability to say, I don't want my child to learn A, B, C, and X, Y, and Z. So it's a slippery slope.
Mm-hmm.
I don't got the answers.
Maze Jackson. What?
I
know. That's why you just got to burn it. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. We got any calls? Oh, look, Riis, like, I'm trying to tell you what to do. All right, thank you to everybody from WBGX 1570 AM who is tuning in with us. Please feel free to join us at Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch on the Maze Jackson page, or put some derivative of Maze Jackson and you'll get it, unless you get the preacher. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We got any calls online? Anybody call about this? They don't care about this. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Plus, I'm going to talk about Tyrone Muhammad, too, because I don't know if y'all saw what they did to him in Capitol Facts. Hey, man, they be niggerizing people. They be niggerizing people in the media, and that's why we got to have our own stuff. Here's our brother down in Springfield, and they have tried to reduce him. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a little while. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. Caller? I hope I didn't make you hang up, caller. Don't be sensitive. Hello, caller? And move away from that radio. Move, ball head, move away from that radio. Move away from that radio. Turn it down. All right, I'm gonna have to start. Turn it down. Turn the radio down. I know who it is. Did you turn the radio down? No, I can still hear the radio.
I don't have the radio. I don't have the radio on.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna be quiet. Talk. What's up, ball head?
Hold on, man. Just tell Riis to stop playing with the controls. That's me.
You see what you done started, Ruthie. You see what you done started. Just blaming on Riis. See that? You're right, ball head. It's me. I did.
Good morning, everybody. Look, listen. I'm going to go back again. The whole thing is confidence. We have to teach our children confidence. Ruthie, boys, our hormones are flowing. I mean, and it depends. Some are early bloomers, some are late bloomers. But the thing is, if we have confidence in ourselves and notice, we don't have to fight against, or proving to her, or I'm this, or proving to her. We have to prove to the guys, because the guys are gonna always want to come at the smart people. You're not tough. So we have to defend ourselves. Me, I was smart. I didn't like it. I didn't understand it. Summertime, we had workbooks. My friends wouldn't come to the house because 12 o'clock is too hot. My mom would just come in the house and work these workbooks. I mean, it's summertime. What do we have to do? But there was a whole thing. The problem was in 5th grade, I got introduced to drugs and alcohol. At 8th grade, they were trying to put me into Al-Anon. AA for the kids. So, I mean, it's like you said, however you brought up, if your confidence is not up and you get caught, you can get lost, as you said, in the track. And I was one to get lost for 30 years. I thank God now that who I am today. I was that base that I had, but it was too late. I was trying to prove and sin and wanted something else. You could do everything in the home, but to be in the street and have that, you need. Look here, I got it all now. You know what I'm saying? The young man spoke about having to go through different male figures to get to become one male figure. You understand what I'm saying? You're picking out from different people to make that one whole who you are. And as a child, it's hard to understand that. But if we can get confidence in the children all the way across the board, confidence is the key. And I appreciate you guys talking with me this morning. Thank you.
Hey, Ballhead, don't make sure that food is on time on Saturday. I saw the check. You got us paying in advance. You better make sure that food better be fire. Yeah, we be there. You make sure. Hey, y'all make sure that if you come into the Carrie Steele volunteer party, Ballhead is going to be catering and getting the food together. So y'all make sure if y'all missed it the last time, you definitely don't want to. All right, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We got callers. We'll take these last 2 callers and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about black media. I want to talk about. I just think, I think we gotta start. We need like a Twitter mob, and we need like a social media mob, so that when these people be doing their thing, they don't get to just be doing it. Oh, and Ruthie, I've been getting texts. Apparently, I'll put it up in a minute. After I've been getting texts and photos, seeing as you around here taking my Robert De Niro spot. They done sent me photos. Darlena done started texting. She rubbing it in. Just rubbing it in. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. What's up, caller?
Shalom.
What's up, Jake?
Hey,
all the way from Houston.
Absolutely. Yeah, bro. I think you're right about the east side. Hey, it's right there in Thorpe. But yeah, I think the movie did influence like guys in the suburbs and across the country. You know what I'm saying? Because when they seen Old Dog or whatever in the city, there was already Old Dogs. So a lot of people in the city wasn't influenced by that because they was actually ones doing it and leaving the state and going across the country, just like the Colors, Crips and the Blood, right? Yeah. They made that movie. They set the rest of the country off. And then the Crips and the Blood, they get on the plane like Q say, you know what I mean? Yeah. Professional crack slayer. They go to Kansas City, turn it out, and then now look at the country right now. So movies do have a lot to do with it. If you wasn't from that environment from the jump. I was a smart kid. I was a bad kid though. I was a bad kid. You know what I mean? In the bad boy class, where I was a smart one. So it couldn't influence me like that because I already was on that. And my cousin, my neighborhood was like that. So and where I come from, it wasn't like, okay, if you're smart, they're gonna mess with you or this and that because it was a community. You know what I'm saying? And the smart kids, if you were smart, you know what I mean? The guys would make sure that you stay smart. They weren't you didn't have to try to prove nothing to them. Now, when you get a certain age and you know what I mean? You're going to Bourne or you're going to CVS or whatever, you know what I mean? You'll be charged with the neighborhood. when you go into that school, you might be smart, but you see some guys from somewhere, they don't care if you're smart or whatever. They, you know what I mean? It's a crazy mixed up world. I mean, not mixed up world, but it's just crazy. Like banking in Little Rock, man. Them guys went down there to Little Rock, man. There's a lot of guys who did a lot of crime. They moved to Little Rock, put them. You know what I mean? Like you said, they got gangsters in Lord. They got Christian Bloods there now, but that's like a gangster city. Memphis, a gangster city. You know what I mean? Different parts. But you go to other different parts, it's Crips and Bloods. They ain't doing that. So I think it's bad influence, and I think a lot of it did start from the movies. I think you're exactly right. Boys in the Hood, Colors, they was doing the movies from California. But guys from Chicago was in California. You know what I mean? They went out there with that stuff. But, you know what I mean? Things changed. So, all right, Aki. Shalom, Aki.
I appreciate you, Jake. You know, the Stones, if you go to the jungle is occupied by Black Stone Bloods. I can't think of what they call themselves. But they were Stones and Bloods, and they were basically Chicago. Go to the live line. Tennille knows. Tennille we had a tour. You should have seen.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Who this is? This is the Maze Jackson Show. Who this?
Hey, Maze. This is Chris.
What's up, Chris? How you feeling, man? Southside. What's up, dog?
Good. Yeah. Hey, I understand how you feeling, man. And to me, from my perspective, it seems like it was the grace of God that really brought you through all of that. When I was growing up, I was in church, but you know, I grew up in Inglewood, and the gangsters they sang, you know, "Ooh, child, things are gonna get better." Young, gifted, and black. These were the songs they were singing, and a lot of them were very smart, and you know, some got caught up in the life, but others eventually got out, and they're doing very well now. I became a teacher, and I noticed that the mindset of kids changed because a lot of their parents have started listening to not so much the gangster rap, but the trap rap, talking about killing each other, you know, doing drugs, and you can see the change in their children. At the beginning of the year, they can come in, you know, very respectful, very manageable, but towards the middle of the year, you know, we had to call the discipline office, we had to call the parents several times. And I think the music, as it was saying, the music and the movies have affected the mindsets of our children. But also, you were talking about that we don't focus on the good kids, and I think that's a big problem too. Because if you look at the news, all we do is hear about what the bad kids are doing, which is only like maybe 1% of how our kids are. Most of our kids do what they're supposed to do. Most of our kids go on and they do well, but we don't hear about those kids. Our neighborhoods aren't structured to accommodate those kids and to cultivate those kids. So and support households. So yeah, I hear where you're coming from. Have a good one.
Thank you, brother. I was just thinking, where do you send your kids to meet girls or boys?
Like, in what context?
Like, so my son is 16, right? 16, halfway, you know, a little attractive young man, and he got him, you know, he got swag. Where do I introduce him to women? Like, where does he go to?
I think in current society, he would probably find them on the internet.
And I'm with you on that. But I'm saying, like, where is the environment for safe kids?
The internet.
And I'm saying,
and that is a scary thing.
And that's my point. My point is, as I'm talking to parents, right? Like, and I'm like, what are the outlets? What have we created for them to be at? Right? Like, I asked my son, where's the first place you gonna drive when you get your car? He said Chick-fil-A. Made sense. I don't know what it is with these kids in this Chick-fil-A, because it is the most underwhelming.
I think it's like a fad.
He been with it since, though. He be stalking it. But then the next thing I said, well, where you gonna go hang out at when you can drive somewhere? He said, to the suburbs. Right? Now, that's a blessing to me, in that Now, he could be sending me off, and we going to air tag him. Thanks, Ruthie. But, I mean, I was just like, when you talk about there's no reward for good kids, so where do you go?
You know, somebody said this, and sometimes I do feel like black parents feel like just feeding, clothing, and shelter is like the end-all, be-all. And, like, it's what you supposed to do. You supposed to get good grades. Like, I know some parents that'll bring the balloons and all this stuff to the kindergarten graduation. And I know some parents that say that's what you're supposed to do. You're not getting rewarded for what you're supposed to do. So I do think that, and I think that part of that comes from the way that they grew up. And it's like I do think sometimes we miss that nurturing aspect because we just be trying to survive. Like, if you provide me with food, clothes, and shelter, I appreciate you, parent, but ain't that like the basic thing that you're supposed to do? Why do you need extra kudos for doing that? Because we down so bad? Like, I ain't never been to jail. Good.
But think about that. Think about how that's viewed in some communities.
I know.
Like, you looked at as less of a man because you have it. Not as a winner, not as a good participant. You ain't, and I'm telling you, that's why a lot of our, I think a lot of the people who could be most or add to the effectiveness of the Fighting 30 won't get involved because they're minimized. Because the fight is typically by the people who are at the forefront, at the tip of the spear, are the people that have been down so bad. The people that are like, man, I'm in the middle, I'm trying to survive, I'm with you. How many middle class people could we get involved and be successful in changing our environment if they weren't shunned? Because that's really who the people who they trying to get to are. And I'm gonna point to this in a little bit because I want y'all to check out Capital Facts. Apparently, my brother Tyrone was down in Springfield. And I know y'all heard him talk about Ty. Call us too. They hadn't gotten their money. Now, Ty, you can't have a whole show, right? I only got 46 minutes. But give us a call because I want to understand what happened when you went down to Springfield regarding the money that State Representative LaShawn Ford, I believe, secured you $500,000 for violence prevention. And then they when he asked for it, they were saying that they weren't going to get it or they have been waiting over a year to get it. Then you read in Capital Facts, they start shading the brother. Like, hey, man, we can't be giving money to groups like this. We got to give it to the big people because they're going to spend the minute wrong and all that stuff. And I was thinking about how important Capital Facts is to legislators and how you can have your whole thing seasoned against you. So he did the work to get the money. They held it for a year, right? And then you look in Capital Facts today and they talking about, well, they're suspect and we've seen them come down here with their cars and doing their thing. And it's like they niggerized them. Now, here we got brothers who are out there at the forefront who their work is undeniable. And yet they are being niggerized for being on the front line. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. When we come back, I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Plus, I want to talk about the Fighting 30. And who is the current Black Chicago community made up of? Like, I feel like, Ruthie, I was looking at myself today. Well, actually, I was talking to Tennille. And she was like, that is not the Black Chicago. The poor, broke Black Chicago that you talking about ain't who we see. She was like, I was like, they ain't from Chicago, she said, but they are the Black Chicago now. And she was talking about all the people that have moved here that are artsy and in the tech world and in the community and all of the transplants. And I was thinking about, like, what is Black Chicago made up of now? Who is it made up of? And we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but I also want to talk about my man, Frontline Ty. Ty, if you out there and you listening, or Tracy, if you wake him up, he ain't sleep. Tell him to call us. We want to know what happened in Springfield, because I saw this story in Capital Facts. They even put your picture in there, which really makes me think, they trying to put it on you. But anyway, Give us a call, 872-259-7474. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
WIIFTBPM.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
It's official West Suburbs and Chicagoland area. The Naperville Soul Fest is back, featuring a live performance by Avery Sunshine and Carl Thomas on Friday, June 3rd, and Kendra the Family Soul, Selena Johnson, and Riis. On stage Saturday, June 4th at Naper Settlement, located at 523 South Weber Street in downtown Naperville. If you missed the last Naperville Soul Fest, you don't want to miss this one. Get your discounted tickets on Eventbrite or visit NapervilleSoulFest.com for more event details. For vendor opportunities with access to over 7,000 attendees, text 630-202-6431. That's 630-202-6431. Spend your first weekend in June at the Naperville Soul Fest with Avery Sunshine Friday, June 3rd, and Kendra the Family Soul on Saturday, June 4th. Check out NapervilleSoulFest.com for more information.
Yeah, Ruthie Mo, Reach the Ruler, Maze Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding. So go on, make my payments high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Hey, check it out. First drug lord was President Nixon. Oval Office was the trap house where he was tipping. Got the drugs from Nicaragua and gave us crack. Declared war on blacks. Man, tell him to cut the check and tried to make it seem like a revolution. CIA was the corner boys for distribution. We could tear this country in half for retribution. But I'd rather get some restitution, so tell him to cut the check. John Singleton, man, he already told y'all. He broke it down for you when he made Snowfall. They locked us all up and created whole laws. So send a message like a cold call. Tell them to cut the check. Look, we built this city. We built this city back. Put this country together and gave them hella aid. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Over 400 years. Been punching the clock, but yeah, we still ain't got paid. Look, they paying the immigrants. They paid the Jews. Executive orders, man, they made the rules. I want my 40 acres, you can save the mule. Cause as of right now, we getting played for the fool. Look, for sterilization, Tuskegee experiment, Rosewood, Japanese internment. Come on, was all paid out from the government. We waiting on our turn, we definitely earned it. So make my payment high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Not no stimulus checks, just run the bread, make it high. Yeah, Ruthie Mo, Reach the Ruler, Maze Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Mace Jackson Show. I'm not talking to Ruthie. She got me kicked off the invite list. I don't get to go see Robert De Niro because Ruthie around here talking about people fine. Darlene probably like, y'all can't come to nothing. I was like, I wasn't even bringing Ruthie.
You on the blacklist.
Dang, Ruthie on the blacklist. Around here playing people. Then she gonna send us a picture talking about, oh, is this what you was talking about? They all on the roof with the shinobi sword, like, whooshing. Like look, they got the city background all in the back.
Ain't that sword people used to knock the top off the bottles?
Shh. That too. And chop your head off.
Oh.
That's, you ain't never watched the Samurais? They up there like, unite! I can't get no invite because you around here talking about the Alderman 5.
My bad.
You bogus.
My bad.
And look at that old bogus mustache he got on. Well, how you think he look better than me? And look at his mustache. He don't even got a beard. Don't get me started. All right, let me stop. Ty, I know you're on the line, so I'm going to take you in a hot second, but I want to set this up. Hey, y'all. I'm going to read this story that I read out of Capital Facts today. Not rich, so don't ban me, because I know everybody going to be calling trying to tell and say, ooh, Maze was reading Capital Facts. Not the subscriber edition from the Post. Let me read this. Basically, there was a story that says the Illinois State Police, working with the Illinois Department of Transportation and Chicago Department of Transportation, is currently installing 56 additional automated license plates readers. But basically, the story is about the fact that ICJA, which is the Illinois Criminal Justice something, it's the money from the cannabis, isn't being distributed to the communities. And so they were talking about the fact that it hadn't been delivered to people and it was slow rolling out. And then they talked about Tyrone Muhammad. Mm-hmm. So I want to read this to you because I thought that this was really, I think you got to pay attention. So it's totally understandable. This is from Capital Facts. It's totally understandable why people get so upset at the pace of government. But hey, at least they're finally going up. That's the money that they were going to be giving out for to fight violence prevention. Speaking of pace of government, let's revisit this WBEZ piece I posted yesterday and look at another angle. The Pritzker administration set aside more than $50 million from COVID stimulus funds for violence prevention in the budget. That passed last year. The funding, to be administered through the Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority, offered a unique opportunity to flood resources into neighborhoods impacted by violence. But with the fiscal year almost over, the state has spent only $56,000 of the $50 million. 0.1% of the money as Illinois experiences worst gun violence ever. Normally, the argument would be, we just don't have the money. Now we have the money and we're sitting on the money, said Illinois State Rep. LaShawn Ford, Democrat of Chicago, co-chair of the Public Safety and Violence Prevention Task Force. Right now, the city of Chicago is on fire with violence, and we have to respond to that. There shouldn't be a delay. People are dying. They claim to be working for the community and people, yet our government doesn't see the urgency in getting funding to us so that we can have boots on the ground to stop the shootings, said Tyrone Muhammad, executive director of the anti-violence group Ex-Cons for Community and Social Change. The budget included $500,000 in funding specifically allocated to Muhammad's organization, but they still haven't gotten a dime. He said they were planning to spend the APRA dollars expanding their street intervention teams so they can mediate gang conflicts in more parts of the city. How is it possible for lawmakers to allocate funding in a line item last year and we still haven't received it this year, Muhammad asked incredulously. Muhammad should have hired Maze Jackson as his lobbyist. He probably going to say, I was trying to hire you, ain't got no time. But I'm going back to Springfield. We're going to talk about it some more. So you heard that part of the story. Now check out, remember the Fran Spielman paragraph?
Yes.
Check this out. You may remember this gentleman from last month. A rally to draw attention to the deaths of two black transgender Chicago women turned into a chaotic shouting match when another small group of anti-violence advocates crashed the event at the Federal Plaza on Monday evening. As transgender activist Zahara Bassett was pleading for justice for the two women, several members of Ex-Cons for Community and Social Change, including founder Tyrone Muhammad, interrupted the event with bullhorns. There was no mention of that disruption in the WBEZ story, so you're going to throw it in. The ECCSC is barely visible in the State House party because sometimes they park one of their special cars between the Capitol and the Stratton building while they speak with their legislators. And they make no bones about their approach to things. Advocating for social change is the forefront of our approach as we view the current political system and allocation of resources as corrupt, unhelpful for improvements, and unaware of what needs to be done to fix blighted communities. Rep. Ford, by the way, requested that ECCSC's line item be included in the appropriations bill. Shout out to LaShawn Ford. So, of course, he's pushing hard to get that money released. And while there are good reasons for the government to take time, this is then they quote, and while there are good reasons for the government to take time with these grants, another member pointed out to me yesterday that there is no way that the anti-violence groups, particularly the small groups, can spend the state money right away. This isn't just about installing cams on the expressway, after all. It will take a while to stand up new programs or expand existing programs. By then, summer could be over. Not cool. We don't want to have any big mistakes, but people have the right to expect this stuff gets done. However, the money mentioned in the BEZ is not the only game in town. From Jordan Abudaya at the governor's office. The state of Illinois has already sent more than $75 million in violence prevention dollars out the door, with another $45 million in various stages of the award process and additional non-for-profit organizations ready to go out in the coming days. We have also funded $26 million for summer expansion initiative to fuel existing programs that are already up and running and doing the work in the communities. The bucket of federal funding at ICEJA is just one small part of our comprehensive funding. And that federal funding comes with strict rules and reporting requirements. So it's taken some time to get organizations up to speed in using federal dollars. Now, one of the things you have to think about with Capitol Facts is, and I always read the comments, because the comments often come from legislators or lobbyists or Springfield insiders who won't comment on our stuff, because here you don't have to reveal yourself. You can comment anonymously. So you ain't got to stand on what you say. But when I say, when I see this, when it says 47th Ward, he said they were planning to spend ARPA dollars expanding their street intervention team so that they can mediate gang conflicts in more parts of the city. Oh, well, I've seen them protesting in front of legal cannabis dispensaries, and we have them disrupting other organizations' rally in support of black trans people. Yes, by all means, hurry up and get these people their money so they can keep up their work they're doing. It's why we need our own. It's kind of why I created What's in It for the Black People Media.
And let me point out these dark pictures that they used.
And then what's crazy is they use these dark pictures. Again, the niggerization.
That's what I'm saying. It bothers me. How you going to include a link to the website and then not use a picture from the website? Use the one of Tyrone in the suit.
Nah, because it's the niggerization of black people. Go to the live line.
They park their car on the lawns.
Hey, man, it's our lawn. Get your feet off my grass. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I think I got my brother on the line. Tyrone Muhammad, what's up, brother? What is going on? And what's up with the niggerization of Tyrone Muhammad, man?
Man, that ain't nothing new. I don't frown. I don't even know capital facts. I don't even read trash. Yeah, so with that being said, man, it's just the same old playbook, bro. It's the same old playbook. I'm going to start by saying and addressing this transgender versus black people dying, right? And they use our black transgender brothers and sisters as a tool for their political foolery. And here we are. When we talking about the transgender, that whole incident that happened, we had that conversation before. That whole incident happened because what we telling the transgender community, our brothers and sisters on that side, is that 2 people was murdered. One is suspect on their end. 2 people. And what we saying is we've been showing up on the scene with babies being shot, black babies, black women being shot, carjacked, and over 2,000 people. 1,000 people being murdered in Chicago. The transgender community was not even there. Yet 2 people get killed. They put forth laws and regulations in Springfield to make transgender community a protected class. They put stuff forth before the Congress. The Assembly. Now here we are, black men dying every day in this city. Heterosexual black men, babies and women dying. But the transgender community don't stand with the broader black community because they see sexual orientation before they see black death. And yet they use black death, transgender death, as a tool to build their movement and their organization. And then they use that same fodder and technology garbage to prop or use against ECCSC because we're an ex-con organization that should be a protected class, ex-felons. But yet people don't stand with ex-felons like they would the transgender or the LGBTQ community. So the LGBTQ community use our situation to just merely let them know that all lives matter. You can't stand before the press and our elected officials talking about 2 transgender black people when you got 2,000 black men dying. 80%, 89% of the deaths that happened in this city was black people. I didn't see the transgender on the front line helping us fight that. And in fact, with that being said, in fact, there are transgender brothers and sisters in prison that are marginalized even further. But the transgender community don't fight for the brothers and sisters that's formerly incarcerated. ECCSC don't discriminate against those who've been formerly incarcerated, whether they're white or whether they're Latino. We fight for everybody in this space because that's who we are. That's what started that, and the elected officials have lined up with gender because it's okay to not see black death as a hustle. I mean, it's okay to not see black men dying as valuable or relatively important.
But when the transgenders, no matter how small they are, the 4 or 5 people standing up, our elected officials run like cattle to them. And I'm saying we've been hollering about death and murder of babies and children. I'm telling the transgender community, I can't fight more for y'all than we fight for the babies that's dying. Y'all won't even come forth and fight for the babies. Now, that being said,
so pause real quick.
Pause.
So I want y'all to understand, because this is a tool of the devil to try and divide us, right? You just heard this brother say he stand with the black trans. Like, I think all of us at the point where it's, if you black first, then we in your struggle. But I think that what you saw, brother, was them trying to use that as an opportunity to discredit you, right? To say, oh, he's anti. Even as many times as you said, man, we'll stand with you. But stand with us as black folks. But right now, and this is what I was trying to explain to that brother the other day, the congressional guy. It's like white folks use your challenges to make you turn against me, as compared to recognizing that they're manipulating the whole system. Now, brother, tell me about this money that they saying, because I'm going to tell you, brother Muhammad, I'm going to tell you that I believe that part of the reason you ain't getting your money is because your name is Muhammad, and because you at some point represent the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I know you're not his messenger, but you have in that process, and we know what they think about that. And so I think all of that is playing into this. But talk to me and tell me what's going on, dog.
No, that's not the point. That's not, because people always looking to, in general, across the why, if we didn't get money from white people, black people, so they don't care about that particularly. Maybe legislators do, but the general public who I serve and represent don't care about that
I'm
stuff.
thinking about the dude who passing it out. I'm not talking about your people. I'm talking about the guy who's passing it out.
The dude who's passing it out needs to be in front of his house.
Yeah,
that's all. But listen, this is what I'm saying. Here we go, bro. A reputable organization that actually get at the ills of Black death, that actually puts his life and his boots on the ground to actually change behavior, not stopping violence in the sense of mediating, but changing the behavior of men who would shoot, of men who would do drive-by. That's how you stop violence, bro. If you don't do behavior modification and cause a person not to even consider picking up a gun against his brother or sister, then that you would never stop violence. So that's where we start first. So with that being said, Black Death has consistently been a hustle. We represent an organization of ex-cons, bro. Here we are, the prime example of what society say it wants, and in terms of reformation and true transformation and prison reform and social justice. We not only have served our debt to society, but we out in the forefront as one of the premier organizations in Chicago that's not tied to Metropolitan Family Service, that's not tied to CP4P and all the political punditry and connections, that's actually doing something, standing independent on our own. And now here we are, because we clearly make it known that it is our job. We represent as an organization to them that's watching, defund the police. That's what, it's not just about that. It's about who are we? How do we have the audacity as Black men to say, you're going to stop killing our women and children without going through the police to do it? We living in a police state, bro. The fact that they can keep talking about our cars tells me that, Negro, you ain't got no business riding around in no police interceptors. Who told you you could patrol our communities? Who told you you could patrol Chicago and stop Black people from dying? Who said that? And this is why I have a problem, bro, with the Willie Wilsons and all these ones that will give away millions and throwing gas in the air in the smoke, but won't contribute millions to stop Black women and children from getting killed, or contribute anything to Black organizations that's on the front line that's doing the work, bro. Then you got people want to run for election, and they ain't been on the scene while these black women dying. They ain't been at these gas stations pumping gas for our women. And then we sit back and allow elected officials, bro, to let them do hits like that on black organizations that's doing the work. We ain't asking nobody for nothing. I don't care about no government money. I don't even want it. We go through all the process, man. We got to certify 501c3. We do all our reporting. We do everything, and we ex-cons. We do everything we ask to do, and then we allow people from outside our community, bro, to tear down brothers who protect our lives, who save our lives, and we sit back and watch and allow that to be said, and we don't organize and form our group against that crap to make our elected officials stand on their business. Bro, there's too many black people dying, man. There's too many black women dying. There's too many babies are unsafe in this city for us to allow them to get away with that. And then on top of that, here we are. A doggone 50 years of being locked up for cannabis, bro. 50 years of being locked up for cannabis. Now they're using cannabis dollars as a tool to reduce violence. While all these organizations that claim to serve us, bro, all these organizations, they're getting this money. But here's the ex-con organization that have men who've been victim of the war on drugs out stopping violence and out transforming lives, and we can't even get no resources. Man, hey, bro, if we don't get it together, man, this show ain't long enough. We did a whole show on this. Hey, bro, I can't play. I'm not going to let no transgender community bully me. I'm not going to let the elected officials or no that political facts bully me. I can't be bullied. I ain't bought. I ain't sold. That's why they trying to do a hit job. They can't say I took no money from nobody. They can't say I sold out my community to nobody. I don't have no political party. All of them need to go.
My brother, I want to tell you we appreciate you on the front line, doing what you do. Shout out to ECCSC. Shout out to all our organizations that are doing something. I'm a thank you, Ty. So we gonna let Ty go. If y'all could just look at the story. And it's like those are the things. Remember, Ruthie, remember when you read that paragraph in the Franz Spielman story? So now here is literally the political Bible of Springfield. People don't care about it, but it is where all the insiders go to make their decisions, to think, to look, to say, to see. And I think oftentimes you want to see what they're thinking about you because they can say it in the cover of the dark. But I also think it's important that you understand, so you think about our vision of Ty and think about the decision makers and what they're putting in the universe. Mm-hmm. Right? You can't, and you would never, here's my thing, you would never see it. So you walking around thinking it's all good, but they done gutted you in the media, in their media, and reduced you to
the dark picture face.
Right.
The dark picture.
Right. Now,
and honestly, it's offensive because ECSC means so much to so many communities, and them cars represent so much. So it's offensive for the way that article was written. And I just want to say that.
Who this nigga think he is?
Like, it's offensive.
Who that nigga that?
When I see an ECCS car, I think, I'm feeling safe. I feel protected. I know I can call. Something happened in my neighborhood. I know who I can call. So it's offensive. I'm offended now. I wasn't offended at first, but now I'm offended because you're not going to just sit. They park their cars on the lawn. Stop playing.
But again, they get to talk cash smack. Now think about this. They just tried to take him down. It be the same people reading this, that be writing this, Ruthie. That's the same people that weaponize our people against us. So now, if you a Springfield person, you're going to say, oh, he's anti, right? He's anti-LGBT.
I mean, because they made sure to throw that in there. Here's a little nugget. Make your own conclusions.
But I'm a whistle. And it's like, but this, who do black? So imagine though, Ruthie, here's the funniest thing, right? Like how we don't care. I promise you, every Springfield insider, every lobbyist, every legislator is reading that. And somebody who's waffly, a little bit scared, like who stands up for the black folks? So this is one of those moments, right? Where somebody black should be like, Rich, how you gonna diss somebody that's meaningful to our community?
Straight up. This is one of them times, black people.
Like, again, people will stand by. I'm gonna probably pay a price for this, right? Right?
You don't let them come and try to lynch your brother. This is clearly we done broke it down how many more ways? Like, this is textbook
like
lynching.
Call out, it is the niggerization. They have been able to niggerize us whenever they want to without any repercussion. And the crazy part is, nobody would even know that was happening. That ain't even in the cycle. And so as he's wondering what's happening with his funding, and you go through the comments, you see what's happening with the funding, because they like, man, this dude could be dangerous. Then the other thing is, you see these large companies that we don't think the little guys could do it, because the big boys got the big lobbyists down there saying, are you sure you want to give $500,000? Now the man done went through the GATA certification. He done everything.
Paperwork
he done
right.
done every piece of, Tracy ain't letting them go out the door.
Paperwork right.
So how do they grow? How do the people? Let's go to the live line. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What's up, caller? Just try calling back. Watch. And one more thing.
Ruthie.
Caller, it's the Maze Jackson Show. Who this is?
This is Zaviola.
Hey, Zaviola. How are you, my darling?
I'm good. I'm just appalled and just excited, but appalled at the same time, and kind of disgusted. The audacity that Springfield would do that to ECCSC. We have an organization that's out there in the neighborhoods with their life on the line, something that they're not getting paid for, as we know. But yet, what they do is they pick us apart, and then at the same time, we have individuals, our representatives, that are not speaking up to this. But yet, we're trying to find so many solutions to deter this violence in our communities. We want the solutions, but we don't want the solutions. So I can't get with it. I'm really just upset about it at the same time. I'm trying to get my thoughts together, though, but we have to come together as Black people if we really want to solve this issue, because right now the weapons have so much power over us, and they're just destroying us and destroying our communities. So if you're not Black enough to speak up for Black people, and you're seeing what's happening every day, deterioration in our communities, then you really are not about the importance of yourself. Where is your self-worth in yourself? You have to have self-worth within in order to go up and aboard your people, in order to help save your people. I don't understand why there is an issue with some Black people saying Black people. As we all know, it's not that we don't love everybody else, which we have to say. It's because we love ourselves too, and there are things that we need. There are a lot of things that we need. And the problem that Tyrone Muhammad had to actually get on this line to justify and speak about ECCSC and what they're doing, I'm really appalled by that. They had to waste this time to get on the line to say what they're doing, and what they are about. We already know what they're doing. Our Black representatives, you see what they're doing. You know what they're doing. With all the crime from the north to the south, from the east to west, we already know. There's a reason for it, because we don't want to fix it. We want to actually put our interest on certain people in certain neighborhoods. But we have to be careful, though. We have to be careful, because the things that we try to save come back and bite us again. So I want to end this, because I don't want to talk too much, but this just really got to me. The audacity that we're about trying to save our communities, which will help all communities, but we want to save our communities. We need to save our communities. So all our black representatives who are afraid to speak up, is on you. It is definitely on you. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Zaviola. I appreciate you. You know that's the general. All right, let me go to another call. Caller, you on the Mace Jackson Show.
Mace, it's Janessa.
What's up? What your name is? Robin Patrice. And you got to give me a cash app, man. I don't be trying to go in my Zelle, but send me a cash app.
I know, and I wanted to, okay, so first let me take care of Erica. Shout out to Desmond. Shout out to Ruthie. We were able to send over money to Sister Erica just to get her through the hump and just to feel some sort of need, whatever need that she has. Erica, y'all know how Erica is. You know, we ain't even got to talk about it. We already know that she's just down for the people, down for the cause, and feed the people and feed the cause. But anyway, I'm trying to understand why black people are so upset this morning about this article. We are talking about inherently evil people that paints the picture of Dr. King to be a terrorist. That's what he was called, right? Because he was trying to do what? Bring black people together. They kicked Marcus Garvey out because what? He was trying to bring black people together. So when they paint the pen in 2022, it's no different from 19 whatever. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was a systemic thing. It's just letting you know that they do not want you to have the same thing. They don't want you to have shit. Period. These people are inherently evil. The same people that's dragging are the progressive white women that's out here saving.
They doing the same thing to Carrie right now. With black people on their profile pic.
I know, and I'm still waiting on Chris Page to answer my question as far as how Lori Lightfoot ended up with an 11% decrease in her property taxes when Chatham, Greater Crossing ended up with an increase. You see what I'm saying? We just we cannot depend on you to give us all of the information. Google Chris Page. Go after him about his record. Make him refocus and get focused on what matters. And that's exactly what I've been trying to get him to understand. Tell me why. Why are the property taxes constantly increasing? But let me get back to these inherently evil people. They mean you no good. They have, anytime they want to do something for you, it's always something else coming up under it. Period. Do I have white associates? Absolutely. I think we all should have some of those. Just like they should have some cool black friends, some black friends that they can talk about, we should have the same exact thing. But at the end of the day, you have to know what your enemy looks like. Everybody not your friend. Just because they can sing a Jay-Z line or a Tupac line and they go to the concerts and wear the T-shirt, that don't mean that that's your friend. Because at the end of the day, they going to their property tax that's low house, and we going to ours when we can't, we underwater, we over every damn thing. We don't have the same things in common. So when they write the pen about you, when they write the pen about Tyrone, we already know what it is because that means that we're doing something right. What did Malcolm X say? If you have no critics, then you'll likely have no success. We are succeeding. We already have developed the fact that we know that they're not coming to save us. We understand this. We don't want y'all because we thought y'all was saving us back when the 1492 fell blue. You see what I'm saying? You already know, Mace, I don't fool with the folks. They can't come in my house. It ain't enough brooms and sage for me to get rid of their energy. And this is exactly why I stand the way that I do and why I'm unapologetic the way that I am. And the associates that I do have, they know exactly how I feel. And it is what it is. Love y'all. Be safe. Forget these white folks. That's all I'm going to say. Love you.
Thank you. Robin, what your name is, Patrice. Get y'all a hook. Hey, man, I want me one of them jackets. I want one with a king on it. That's what Sister Erica be calling me. When Sister Erica texts me, she be like, King. I be like, who, me? It be big. She type it in capital letters, too. Hey, y'all make sure y'all send some more energy to our Sister Erica Burton. I don't know how she got in and so far up the list so quick. They ain't even been with us a year.
That's what
and now we feel like she like a family member.
Real recognize real.
That way she was looking all mean, though?
Real.
Mean.
Real
mean. But one of the kindest souls ever. Shout out to New Era Chicago. Shout out to our sister Erica. Ruthie, this once again, not on the paper. Not on the paper.
You heard me smack my lips at Capital Facts.
See, so here's the thing. I don't think we need to keep letting the white media outlets just get away with it. Like, seriously. Like, I do think there is a time. I think there's got to be time out for the niggerization of black people. If you're going to tell the story, like, tell the story. But, like, somebody should be on that, like, somebody needs to respond to that for Ty. Not Ty.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, black people.
Too, like, I think somebody should be also caping for Representative LaShawn K. Ford. Like, he shouldn't have to say nothing either. We should be like, yes, great job.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Like, we got to give props where props are due. That's an example of the system work, like us all trying to work together because we know we dying in the streets. Who else is on the front lines? We know it's a strategy. University of Chicago said it was a good strategy. So you got the group that's doing the strategy. Like, stop playing like the non-profit industrial complex.
Oh, damn. Not the non-profit industrial complex.
It's a thing.
You saw they was in this. They was like, don't get them Negroes that money.
But Maze, check this out. Check this out. Lobbying is to politics as the research is to the nonprofit industrial complex. So when you have major universities that's telling you what the gold standard in these things are, now these organizations have to make their models fit with this thing that the University of Chicago is saying is the best method. Who gets all the funding? Who controls the funding? Look like to me, the people that's saying what the best methods for the research are the ones that's also controlling the funding. And it's just a big cycle. That's why I called it the nonprofit industrial grant complex, because how can small nonprofits sustain themselves without grant dollars? Like, why Chicago Craig getting all this money? Like,
but back up. And then
they affiliated with the University of Chicago.
Oh, you messing up your
I'm
money.
sorry. Burn the bridge, strike the match.
So check it out. And then what they do is, if you an organization that they want to fund, then what they do is they say, okay, we'll make them your fiscal agent. So you can get the money, but you got to report to them to get it. Because we can't trust you with the money, so we're going to give it to. Now, in Chicago, for black people, that used to be Buffy, the Black United Fund of Illinois, right? And Mr. English would, if an organization didn't have the technical wherewithal, he would get their money, make sure they got paid, got their payroll, and keep them straight so that they could keep their grants going until they got up and down. Well, when Mr. English went away, that space didn't go to Buffy. It went over to who you said.
$500,000 is not even a lot of money considering how much money some of these orgs is getting, y'all.
Remember, we heard them.
It's a drop in the bucket.
$37 million just for one ward, and they was attacked. They was getting paid $37 million to beat up black people. I think like we gotta like. I feel like white folks are too comfortable being disrespectful to us in general. Like they've been doing, like they be like, oh, we could just do that. Like, I'm telling you, I bet you if Tyrone was in and met Rich Miller, I bet Rich wouldn't do it again. See, it's like these people been having the ability to just talk cash shit, do anything, say anything, and because they got the back of the institutions, they be like, can't nobody get got.
And if you say something, they try to ice you out.
Then they call you a homophobe, right? So then, like, again, so imagine you be a black dude. Like this, all these people be complicit in your demise. And they be like, ha, 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 and they got a moral authority. But again, see, the problem is we can threaten everybody in our own space, but won't throw rice at a wet. Imagine if there was consequences and repercussions for niggerizing somebody. Imagine that the white girl can't just come up and throw a story out and hide behind the shield of a black man, a dead black man on her Facebook profile, and then be like, I'm gonna throw this rock and hide my hand. Imagine if these people can't come up in our space, smile and act like they down with us, but the second you don't do what they tell you to do, you still a Negro. Like, real talk.
It's all a game. Like, I'm sick of these research institutions dictating policy, grant dollars, funding. Like, and then we want to talk about lobbyists and politicians. No, we need to be looking at these research institutions. They literally are driving the policy and driving everything. And then Harvard want to say, oh, we did have slaves, our bad.
I just need to say one more thing. This is why we got to make our own money. Like, we didn't make Willie Wilson, right? Willie Wilson won the black millionaire because of black people. This government, we going to get our money, but we got to have people that's willing to go get it. That's why we need lobbyists in the ecosystem. You know why that story said that they already started the thing. They can't manage the money, right? So that we'll give you your money, but you got to we're going to make you submit to Metropolitan Family Services. We're going to make you submit to one of these entities. And then what do I tell you? What is the best way to take out the most active black people that could do something? Give them a grant and underfund them.
Keep them in the paperwork, Chase.
Right.
Keep them in the paperwork.
Now you're trying to keep your people employed. So now you got to do paperwork and you can't be at the front line. Woo! But it's okay. Because y'all be, and we'll be mad at each other, though. We'll figure out a way to be that nigga Maze.
Where they get them cars from anyway?
Right. You remember that part on Django? What that nigga doing on that nag?
Oh, that nigga on that nag.
Man, get off that nag. What they doing down here? Remember what I told you? The speaker told me. The old speaker, what you doing in Springfield? Huh? Ain't this the state capital? Like, you know what, Ruthie? That's why I felt so good when we went down. Because, mugs will be whispering, talking smack, but they wasn't finna say nothing. Right? They'll be, look at these. Say something. And we will come back. Right? Like, you got to start thinking that they got to start thinking like there's consequences to what happens. Like, you don't just get to drag our people out, splay them on the media, and then walk away and act like you get to hide your hand. No, you think because you was a publicist you get to hide? You think because you wait.
Just because you ain't a registered lobbyist, you think you about to hide?
Right.
We know the game. Stop playing. Like, ain't nobody going for this. Like, I am just literally like, I know it might seem like something so small, but them pictures that Capital Facts use, like,
the niggerization of black people, and they
disgusting.
do it all the time. That's why every time you see a candidate, a black person in the news, they always showing them at their worst picture. It could be 3 million pictures on the internet. They got to find the one with your mouth open with your hair undone. They got to darken you up. This brother done represented people all around the world, right? Remember I told you they put my picture in the paper and they was like, put this nigga here in a sweatshirt and hoodie. His worst COVID day picture.
Find a picture where he don't look serious.
Find a picture where he don't look like he could think, because he do crime, you do crime, we do crime together. They met as felons. They bonded over felonies. The niggerization of black people in the media, and I'm going to keep pointing it out. Now, that's not going to make me very popular, and probably I'll get some more negative stories. But I'm going to tell you, for every negative story, I'm going to be posting that white lady with her black death shield.
We finna have probably one of the craziest summers we done had in a long time.
At least till June.
And we know that the thing that we need black men on the front lines protecting us, protecting themselves, and protecting our communities. Ain't no other group doing it like ECCSC. And I think black people, we will be doing a disservice to ourselves if we don't rally behind Tyrone Muhammad and ECSC and not let them. And shout out to Representative Ford too.
Shout out to Representative Ford too. Shout out to Representative Ford. Carlton, I gotta do this real quick. The reason that we don't have a lot of strong black lobbyists, and it's one of the things that I keep trying to push, is because we allow them to be undercut too. You don't give them the power, so they gotta cut a deal. They cut the best deal because they know that the second that they are published, then y'all gonna jump off the cliff and be like, "Oh, this nigga getting paid, them sold out." Well, that's the job. And the reality is, we haven't seen black lobbyists black lobbyists empowered, which is why you see what happens. So the deal gets cut because you ain't got nobody sitting at the table with the corporation. Pay attention to how this thing is going with my client right now and all this stuff they trying to do. And pay attention to the fact that, Ruthie, if you allow somebody to grow and develop trust and they're able to be successful, then you're able to do way, way, way more. I was thinking about my man. I had one of my brothers who is one of the frontliners kicking my people in the butt, right? Trying to get an opportunity. I'm going to kick the door down and I'm going to threaten and I'm going to say all this stuff as compared to saying, hey, fam, I got a business. And I say, instead of sending emails for a year, holla at me. Family, this brother has a business that we can help. Guess what? They like, well, can you set up a meeting and we'll figure out how we make it happen. See, because we don't understand, we take everything that somebody told us and project it without knowing it. When the last time you lobbied? When the last time you talked to a black lobbyist? When have you ever heard what the issues to becoming a black lobbyist are? And by the time you get there, then they take this moment and be like, what? And be like, oh, well, they going to cut me out. So you find yourself, again, the smart black kid. So the smart black kid, we love the smart black kid now. The smart black kid is your lobbyist. The smart black kid has an option, but if you keep calling him an MF, you keep calling him a sucker, guess what he gonna do? Not the best for you. It's like we always looking for somebody to blame as compared to saying, how does this ecosystem work? Let's learn the damn game. Like, we need powerful black lobbyists who can say, no, this is what we gonna do. Because the white lobbyists get to do it. And they don't walk fences. They are unabashed about making sure that their people get right. But because you blaming the legislator who don't know, the lobbyist is the person that got all the dirt on all the inside, knows everything that the company has to offer in the toolbox, and they're giving to them up front, and they try to negotiate backwards. But if your lobbyist is going in up front, like we saw with the Latino lobbyists, they always put their people in the deal. You could put your own people in the deal, they'll still MF you. Even if you ain't even got the business to do it. How many black construction companies are there? But if I put 20 black lawyers on, that don't count? That don't count? Shit, if you the black lobbyist, do that count? Like we look to segregate and always figure out a way to minimize somebody. Create an ecosystem. And everybody plays their role in the ecosystem. So what should be able to happen is, so let me just say this. So if we had our stuff together, ECCSC is trying to fight to get their money. They call their lobbyist up, Mays Jackson, who was just down in Springfield, and their lobbyist goes to the speaker and says, can you free the money up? That's how the ecosystem will work. That's why you saw the white people in the article saying they can't handle the money. But what we did is cut everybody. And then they be like, well, what I'm supposed to do? You ain't even got nobody with you. Look. It's all good. It's like, so let me ask a question. Who got you anything out of spring? You just hope? Again, when you wonder why does Catholic Charities win, why do all your opponents win? Because they have a lobbyist.
Man.
Who is focused on their issues. And we be like,
man, I know people that volunteer to be AARP lobbyists. Like
you
they
should
volunteer for it.
You know why you volunteer? Because everybody bows down to AARP because you got the seniors. You got the mailing list. So then you take your client's mailing list and you say, I got every senior in your district. This is what I need from you. We don't get that, though, because we don't play power. We don't know leverage. We don't. We just be like, we could be mad. And we know physical.
I'm advocating for a chapter ECCSC in every ward.
Ooh, what happened to BP1?
Yeah,
I gotta compete. I gotta compete.
Nope.
No, I can't be. We can't accept. It can't be ECCSC. Nah, man. ECS. If they shine, I can't shine. No, I think it makes sense because ECCSC or in every community there is an ex-felon, an ex-con.
In every community, in every family.
And imagine the unity that when we call each other and say, hey, ECCSC, we trying to shut it down. Or we trying to go push on somebody. The community has an issue, and the community is safe. Hey, man, shout out to Russian Shrek. I got to do this before we go. Why are you laughing, Ruthie?
Because we talk about something.
No, but I'm about to go, and so I got to talk about Russian Shrek before I go.
Russian Shrek.
Russian Shrek, in case you don't know, I have renamed the opponent to Russian Shrek because I'm telling you, he looks like Shrek. And when you find out his Russian history, which we're going to share, Ruthie, what you think people going to say when they find out he could have bought the chemicals that they using to shoot the Ukrainians right now?
Hopefully people say, we stand with Ukraine.
All right, y'all. This is the Mace Jackson Show. I am the host, Mace Jackson. Oh, check this out. Tomorrow, International President of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Brother Chris Ray, will be sitting in the studio. You know, it's our regional conference this weekend.
Where's it?
What you worried about? Don't
Oh,
thirsty
listen,
Deltas
I just
trying to
need to
find out where the
know.
Sigma men at.
Listen,
where's the best fraternity in the
just
whole
wanna
entire
know.
world?
Where they
We
finna
are.
be
She ain't asked where the alpha was at. She ain't asked where the alpha was at.
Wait, I just need to know where y'all gonna be gathered in.
We gonna be out in Rosemont.
Okay, we in Rosemont. Whoop whoop.
So, Rosemont, Ruthie.
Hey, shoot, Riis. Well, at least you know your cross date, cause Todd don't. You know, cause I'm telling you, at the regional conference, guess what they gonna say?
What they gonna say?
They're going to be like, we are in the city of Chicago where one of their most powerful brothers didn't even know the day he crossed. We talk about that like that is in the joke. Like no matter, like when we telling our stuff, you know, when the international president get up and he say, man, how great we are and wonderful. And, you know, don't be no alpha, don't be no Q. They be like, alphas don't even be knowing they cross date.
Alpha.
Not
Wait,
don't be.
okay, I got a real, May, can you just answer the question? If you were not a member of your fraternity, would you be a member of another fraternity?
Oldest.
Good one.
They probably better than everybody else.
What about you, Riis?
They better than the options.
Riis, if you were not an alpha man, would you be in another fraternity?
If you ain't first, you last. So you know me. What you mean? Nah.
I noticed that fraternity men never answer that question.
I'll make my own.
And if you're a woman and you answered, I would be like, I told you so. What? You couldn't make it. Look, y'all was first come, first serve.
No, women just have less ego.
No, women
have less ego.
No.
Because I know some women that like wanted it to be something and want at their school and then they play it something else. I'm like, that is crazy.
That's so that when I see them people.
What you do? You be going off?
I don't be going off. I'll be like, wait.
Did you want to be AK? And are you a Delta?
I'll be like, wait.
Did you want to be a Delta?
And then I don't even got to say nothing. I was like, we going to play dumb together.
Right.
We going to play dumb together.
Maybe they realized some things at the last minute.
I seen you in the room practice because you know everybody was in the room practicing their steps. They like, ooh, when I make it, I'm going to be doing this.
Right,
so I wondered, did you flip? What did you unlearn?
Not flip.
Did you unlearn?
Oh, wait a minute, Ruthie.
Not flip.
Don't say it, Ruthie. A Delta was always your first choice, right, Ruthie? Say yes.
Yes.
There you go.
Right.
That's obvious. It's the only sorority.
Yeah, there you go. Ooh. There you go.
I mean, it was the first. It was the first sorority. I'm just saying.
Here we go. Look at you getting dirty. Look at you. Look at you trying to get out of here. Look, the case finna come.
Listen, let me. While I got the mic. Point of clarity. Because, you know, revisionist history is a real thing.
Oh, Lord.
January 13, 1913, the founding date of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated was an ultimatum from the social club of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority. Once they realized that the 22 members, the founders of Delta Sigma Theta, who were former members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, decided that they were going to start another organization dedicated to public service, not being a social club. And you know what the members of AKA said, particularly Nelly Quanda? She said, hold up. Y'all ain't about to start no new. We about to kick y'all out. Y'all got until this date to cease and desist. And you know what the 22 founders of Delta said?
Obviously, they didn't cease and desist.
Exactly. Let's keep it going. And that is the history.
So they wasn't first. So they were
a social club.
You just explained how they was AKAs first and then they Deltas now.
Yes, the 22 founders of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated were former members of Alpha Kappa Alpha. Everybody know that.
But
no,
they don't.
Yes, they do.
Most
people know that.
Delta wasn't first.
I just told you they were a social club. We started a sorority dedicated to public service. Just trying to let y'all know.
You chose violence this morning, huh? You straight chose violence this morning.
It's historical.
Okay.
Ruthie, can I just tell you something?
Wikipedia, just look it up, y'all. Look it up.
Ruthie. So let me just say this. I don't look at Wikipedia. And I'm going to just tell you this. Let me just say this. Let me just say this because I didn't know that was public. I didn't. Okay, let me back up. Second of all,
Black history is our history, and I think it's important for people to understand Black history. Like that's why I really appreciate the Divine Nine, because if you study the Divine Nine, you can literally learn so much about Black history. And I love Black history, and that's what made me love Delta Sigma Theta, because I was just like, who is Delta? Who are all these women that are members of this organization? Who are all these freedom fighters? I want in. I'm a public servant. I ain't no member of no social club.
But they not first, because AKAs was 1908.
I'm not gonna get in this. I just need to say.
What you got to say?
This was deep. And I'm just saying. No. Look. I've never heard the story.
They don't want you to know the story, my brother.
I can't believe that you never heard of that, man.
So let me just say, I've heard the dance arounds and I heard the little snipes, but I never knew that part of the history. And I think I got pieces and parts of it, but I never had anyone actually physically confirm it. Right?
And straight up, I will say this.
I feel like you get in trouble.
I have AKA friends. And,
you about to get in trouble.
But check this out, though.
I thought that was only in the history book.
Listen, Maze, check this out. The AKA history is different from what I just told you. So if you talk to an AKA, they're gonna tell you a whole different story. But I'm telling you the truth.
Because we should trust you. So that's sort of like the Kappas and us.
They lying. Somebody said, "Hey man, I be trying to hear all the just go off the date that is you are organization."
But what you even let me finish?
Everybody be like, "We was first."
No, you ain't heard me say nothing like that. And you wasn't first.
Hello, you really
you
wasn't.
weren't. Sigma Pi Phi was first. So stop. But stop. But in the fraternal world, during right after World War I, when Black male college enrollment was declining, the men of Kappa Alpha Psi wrote a letter and asked the men of Phi Beta Sigma to merge, to which we respectfully declined. We have the letter.
Was it a respectful decline?
I mean, I'm sure in the letter it was, but I'm sure if it's anything like what happened at the frat house, what? Nah, just play. So but it's just and then speaking of all that, shout out to my man Sean Long, who just became the regional director of Omega Psi Phi. Knew him in college. He is also a University of Illinois Hall of Fame media member. Actually, the dude that helped me get on my path, because we did our first concert with Redman, Keith Murray, Illinois Scratch, and he had the college box and they got the funding, but that was where I got my pass. And so I think I was talking to some people, and this is, I hope that today this is not, I was talking smack, but I do think that we all play a very integral part. I think you can always tell the people who's made undergrad versus the people who's made grad, because the undergrads always be gotten some, I ain't that far gone to forget. But I think as we have made it to our alumni or graduate chapters, I think a lot of that rivalry now is gone, and it's just friendly unless you're an AK and a Delta.
No, everybody else, still friendly.
It ain't now, not after what you just did.
It's friendly.
Oh, no.
Just ask them who Nelly Quander is.
Oh, you just opened. Look, Ruthie,
violent. Ask them who Nelly Quander is.
I'm just telling you.
She saved them.
Ruthie feeling away because they done tripled their membership in the last 2 weeks.
They back.
Look,
check this out. I was in Hyde Park. And I was eating at a I feel like I'm too old for that. I was at a restaurant eating, and some Deltas came in, and I was so tempted to talk to them, but I was like, let me just hear what they talking about. And I could tell they was Neos. They was parried up, and they was talking smack about people.
Who?
I ain't gonna say it on air, but let me just say this, sorors, keep your conversations a little bit lower. in restaurants if y'all want people to know what you're talking about. But y'all bogus though.
See, what was they talking about, Ruthie?
Other people.
See, in fraternities and sororities.
I ain't going to this. We offline now. I said, ooh, my ears perked up like, ooh, which chapter they from?
Ooh, y'all don't know everybody now.
That sound like me right there.
Oh no, you ain't supposed to. Yeah, but you ain't finna have it on no tape. You ain't gonna have me talk about what you say again. So I could be like, did you hear what they did on the show? Anyway, it's I wish the time of being a Neo was a good time. Is it the same being a Neo when you like no, because you ain't going on no road trips. Your husband be like,
college
your
is like
husband be like,
different.
where the hell you think you going?
And college is just more fun.
You ain't going. What? You going to the Q? Ain't no Q parties.
What? Strolling is a rite of passage.
Passage. You pass your ass on by. Maze Jackson show around here.
Like we're talking about the boule before people just dropping off. We talking about the boule too much.
Oh yeah, that's they be like, oh, the Black Greek. Why they name themselves back the Black Greek? Black people made Greek letters now. And if you go to the class, you'll learn more about your black history and your origins than you ever do. Boy, it's kind of crazy when you look at everybody's founder and you think about our founders.
Yep.
In 1900s.
They was young. They were young.
And they were conscious.
And young.
Like, they had Black Greek to hide, but when you look at all of the rituals and all the stuff.
And in some of them was just light skin.
A lot of them were light skin.
Speak for yourself. We was the country boys who stole y'all women. It's all good though.
It's all good.
It's all good. You know, we showed up on the
alpha, so we know that story too.
Let me tell you the story. Let me tell you the story. You want me to tell you the story? You see, this is what I feel like this. This is what I be feeling like. I be feeling like you could tell whatever story you want to, but our history speaks for itself. Like I can show you living history.
Zaviola said Q parties the best parties.
Well, we know about. Well,
that's a fact.
No, then what?
That's a fact. That is a fact.
If you want to be raped,
no.
Want to be raped?
I take that back. I take that back. I take that back to all. But I take that. I take that back. But okay, let me just tell you. If my mama came in anywhere and saw my pants, I'm not gonna do this because I don't even want to turn it into that. Zaviola, well, we understand. We now understand about you, Zaviola. Did you ever wake up with? Let me stop.
No, she had just a good time at the Lake Jam.
The Lake Jam.
See, you don't know about that.
No, I don't. I didn't really go. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. For Maze, Riis, and Ruthie, I am the host where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just a
Put they shit on. I know I'm about to get about 16 calls.
No,
I know,
no, you're not.
You crazy.
No.
Oh, I know. Oh, because the AKAs be serious. They be mad to the motherfucker.
This is a serious matter to be an AKA.
Did you see the one